fun. So hope everyone had a good, solid hump day. But we're going to send you guys off to big boys with their position.
Take care, guys.
Welcome back, everybody. The afternoon show is in tow, where if we say the word ice, it's something I put in my drink, and not necessarily.
I thought it was immigration. You know,
no, it's like
ice coming through there.
Of course, we knew internal combustion engine. It's just that lately, people, you're looking over your shoulder for ice, or you put in your lemonade that cool, refreshing drink. You went there, Neil. Well, no. What do you mean? I went there. What do you mean I went there?
I want to take credit. I want to take credit for that.
Sean went there, man. I didn't go there.
I want to take credit for that.
I mean, I would have gone there, but I mean, you did, so it's entirely fine. See, and I told you guys, when I didn't say go Tesla when I came on, and Tesla actually bounced back, because 2 times in a row, I came on in the midday show, grabbed the microphone, and ended it with go Tesla, and of course, Tesla decided to continue lower. But now we're right back, going back to some highs. The NASDAQ has decided to go green. The ES is really, really trying to hold into the green. And there's some crazy price action and a lot of algos at work today. Big time, a lot of algos. The only reason I'm in QBTS is because I think an algo breakdown. I haven't seen this in a while, where you have so distinct the algos in control at the bottom, and then the sellers at the top, the failed breakout. I'm like, well, if it loses that bit, I want to be short. Let's see. I've only been in 2 shorts all day long, which is weird, because this morning there were a lot of good shorting opportunities. Once I get a fill, the position will show up. I'm in QBTS and Robinhood, and that's pretty much it. But yeah, what an interesting day it's been, because there's been ridiculous flyers. And some of them, I'd say, came out of nowhere. Google, I'm looking at you. And other ones make sense to us. Tesla, Nvidia, I'm looking at you. But yeah, Alphabet, thank you. Alphabet. I'm being facetious there. We recently sold Alphabet, that's why.
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy with everything. I did sell some Alphabet. Obviously, we didn't sell that much of it. About a third, maybe. But look at this Nvidia. All hail, man. It is a hot dog gun kind of trade. We were sitting here at 11 o'clock, and those of you that were with us, I was like, let's go, let's go, let's go. And then we went right back to highs. So this is the banger for me today. It's an absolutely that was a great trade right there, back there to the upside. We also just bought some TQQs down at these lows again. We did it again right there, buying the same trade. We had to average into it, though. We got stopped out there. There's an out there, but it's not a stop. It's not a stop out. It was actually a keystroke. I meant to bid and went the other way. We did get stopped out right here. Right there, once it broke 50s the first time. It came in. I was trying to defend that area, broke it. Then we averaged in again, right back at that. I heard Sharif, I heard Joe, we all talk about the same stuff here, and it's just like coming into key levels. That's why we really did hold this Nvidia. Oh, and it's not a big bear today. It was a big bear earlier, but right now it's just an AI company. So big bear AI right now trying to get off that bottom. And we're going to take this break of 75. If it does break it, then we're going to get out. Did I put 75 or 69? I'm going to have to double check. I think a 69 break. So if we do break below that, then we're going to get out of big bear AI. But for right now, all is good. We got an 80 fill. Our best outs, I think, are 87s or 88s. To the upside there at the 50 period. Now we wait to see if Big Bear has a run in it here at the end of the day. So yeah, man, all good over here on this front. We're happy that you're joining us one more time here into the close. It should be a good one. I don't think there's too many earnings. I actually didn't even really. Cisco, okay.
Yeah,
We'll take it. We'll take it. Right?
Hill was a good group.
What was that? Yeah.
What?
The Thong Song stock?
Thong Song.
There
is. So CoreWeave does report, but it's like
CoreWeave, okay.
It was 7 o'clock.
Oh,
who the hell reports at 7 o'clock at night?
That's a mistake.
Well, you know what? When I first looked at it, Sean, I thought exactly the same thing as you. I'm like, there's no chance. By the way, just very quickly, break even stop on Robinhood. That's what I wanted to get to next. I took a mean reversion on it. There you go. It broke trend. It played to here, and then I'm out break even.
Ooh, Baba tomorrow morning.
Yeah, Baba tomorrow morning. But yeah, I don't understand why anybody would report at 7. But I absolutely trust Adara.
Oh, yeah,
Who've gotten it right. So that's all. Ooh, someone's actually selling CoreWeave every time at the top here at 66.
I don't know if CoreWeave, yeah. That's a name where it's too bad that, you know, we're thinking very bearish once they came out, because it was a name that there was a lot of interest. I just want to bring up to everyone's attention here. See, this was 62. We wrote down 62 on Robinhood. I really liked it. These are all 62 buys, right? There's the sell, and then guess what we did?
Another one.
You know, it breaks and we went short. So then, boom, goes the dynamite. Boom. We didn't. I mean, again, she could have reloaded it right there. Was waiting for 62 to reload. Didn't quite get there, but there it goes, right? So bought the long, which we had right here written on our sticky note. Once we sat here and realized that, this name's not that strong at all today, and it came rifling in while the market is still positive, that made me think this is a flip up. So we did that. And we didn't flip it up until 75, so we didn't flip it up immediately. We got out there on 85 break. Then the downside happens here for Robinhood. So that was a pretty good flip up there. Just wondering if people were interested in that. And there goes the TQQs. It's almost off the bottoms again. So that's back-to-back jacks here on the TQQs. We'll see if Nvidia can get going as well. And we'll go over, looks like he's ready to rock and roll. Let's go over to Sharif at the big screen.
Welcome, everyone, to the Afternoon Rundown, the show where you decide what we talk about every afternoon. The big boys locked and loaded, ready to look at the tickers as decided by you. But the only way to get those tickers up there is to join Joe and I on the midday show and get into that chat and vote for your favorite tickers every day. But like I always say, you got to be a subscriber to get into the chat and vote. So make sure you're liking, subscribing, and sharing. 2 of the 4 major averages, guys, in Greensville. 2 are in red. I'll give you a guess as to which ones are green. Time's up. NQ and the ES are both green on the day, with the Dow and the Russell 2000 in Redsville here, with the worst off being the Russell 2000 down almost 2/3%. UNH obviously keeping the Dow down, still at that 420 level. Let's look at the first ticker, though, as decided by you guys. No surprise here. NVDA, another fantastic day, almost 4% in the green, was 4% at times. Here's what we're expecting in terms of this new deal that they're striking with the Saudis. Qataris are today, and possibly the Emiratis tomorrow, expecting about $15 to $20 billion in revenue just from this one deal alone with Saudi Arabia, guys, so not a bad look at all.
All right. Yeah, no, not a bad look at
There's
it.
joke in there somewhere.
It was, what, 34.50 or something?
No, you could say like 20 billion, a lot of money.
20 billion, that's a lot of money.
Russell Peters,
My kid got in trouble
he
for
may have
doing
only
a
had
Chinese
1 or
accent.
2
I'm not,
like good, like he had
I'm not
1 or 2
allowed.
good sets, but that's about it. Got in trouble doing that joke?
yeah, my 13-year-old was doing like a Chinese accent or something in school, though. But yeah,
Look,
yeah, he got in trouble.
if you're Canadian, the Russell Peters bit is
No,
one
you're
of
not
the
doing it for
most
that.
famous. I'm just saying, like, you got to be able to have fun in this stuff, man.
You cannot have fun like that in school anymore.
No,
Cannot.
like,
No,
okay.
you cannot. Cannot.
Okay, what I should say is, I wish you could still have some fun, because like there's really good bits. Like
Not allowed to bring balls to
Eddie
school.
Murphy does all kinds of great bits. When I gave my daughter, like,
Oh, we're not doing any Goonie Goo Goo jokes here, okay?
Goonie Goo Goo was
with
one of the
Delirious there.
it is what it is. I show my
the
daughter
mark,
some
yeah.
clips of some good comedy,
yeah.
and then my wife is like, "What are you doing?" She's gonna say that at school. It's clean stuff, but some of it's
No, you're not allowed. I'm telling you, you're not allowed.
yeah, it sucks. Yeah, it sucks.
So I've been banned from doing all that. I have a couple different accents, as we all do. All right, there's Nvidia right there, 130 to 131. It was the #1 long. He started with the Saudis. I started with the Saudis. We're all loving the Saudis these days, as that money can work, right? I mean, money is green, and they're throwing it around. Shout out to Live Golf. How'd that work out for the Saudis? Not the greatest. But here it is, man. Live Golf, I think, has been a disaster. I think they've lost hundreds and hundreds of millions at all. I mean, when's the last Live event you watched, Neil?
But I only watched like the
Exactly.
but I only ever watched the Masters.
Right. So you haven't watched one. I have never watched one. I don't. Brendan, I'm sure he's a
I might
golf
try
fan.
to watch some of the PGA Championship.
Yeah, exactly.
Because there's so much interest on that Profit X. I want to bet something.
Yeah, I don't think. Anyways, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you
Back
guys.
to the video.
If whatever, Greg Norman's watching, he can fill us in on the $600 million, whatever he got paid for nothing. Okay, so right into here, I'm just jealous at the end of the day. What's up to the shark there? That guy had an epic collapse also at the Masters. But no, look, Nvidia, I really like the stock today. You guys know that I was sitting in this trade, and it was pretty much the talk for me all morning. We bought the 200 period. We were not letting this thing go until it broke 131. That was going to be the decision that we had. My stop order is actually still in there, but I might as well cancel it. I have less than 10% left of this position because we got out the majority of this at the high of the day. So real traders unite, as we talk about that all the time, looking for these bigger moves, man, on bigger shares. We did screw up early when we got, locked in there trying to buy this break of the top. We did buy the break of the top. It did go upside. So it was running early, but then it just ran down, man, all the way down and broke that 200 period at that time. So we wind up getting out. I feel like it might have been VWAP, but anyways, at the time it breaks it. Then we were like, all right, let's just do our sticky note again. And then we started buying here with $1 worth of risk. There's 131 right here. It never got into that area. We were looking to buy more. I mean, actually, I still, 31.75, 131.65 was the low. We were like in the 20s or 30s. So we did miss the reload, but all the way to the top side, we just got some more out right now. As the market's tipsy-turvy here, right? We're going between up to down to we were below VWAP. Now we're right here again. So I think this is a pretty good trade. We got out of half of it right here once we broke the 50 period at the time. And now I guess it was right there. We got another piece out at the bottom, and now we're just going to hold on to Nvidia and see what winds up happening. But a decent trade there. Wrong early, right late. We did have Bob Dadog, Bob blah blah. We did have emotional damage.
There was all kinds of emotional damage today.
I was having a lot of emotional damage.
That.
And then I found out that they sent the wrong size bat to my daughter. I'm going to show the clip to you.
And it's a gorgeous.
It is time to fight.
It is a gorgeous bat.
It's fighting time. But
you got a bat that you can hit them with. So that's and you don't care what happens to it because it's the wrong bat. It's almost like it works out.
It might be a win-win situation over here.
Sometimes it's a win-win situation. I'll tell you this right now. Yeah, but look, I didn't trade. What's weird about today is I wanted to dip buy Nvidia, and then the AMD news happened, and I went to going long AMD, and AMD was downward trending, and somehow we were able to navigate it because in AMD it went nuts. They authorized was $6 billion buyback. And you saw what happened in the pre-market. We were covering it live, and it was trending up. And it's like, don't chase, pull back into VWAP. It pulled back into VWAP twice. One of them was as clean a move as you can get, especially since if you were looking at the tape, what was happening at 122 wasn't rocket science. And then we waited for very patient dip buys with tight stops, but really just a couple of shots and then go. I did trade SMCI, but I noticed that one's on the list. So we can talk some more chips when we get to that. And
yeah, like this. So this is supposed to be
a
29 drop 10. Okay. So first of all, it's drop 12. You can see right there. And then here it is. So this is my wife sending it to me. Everything is all good. It's all good. It's supposed to be 29 length. There it is. 28. You can't see. There it is. 28 drop 12. But there it is. It's the Rawlings icon there. You could drop whatever you want. Certain leagues will have certain restrictions. This is a USAA Little League Rawlings icon bat. But those of you in the chat that know bats, anyways, doesn't matter. Long story short, wrong bat. So she'll play tonight with her other one-piece alloy bat, which is still a great bat, but I wanted to get her a new one. So anyways, all righty then. Sharif, a stock called Tesla that we had a good position on and then got stopped out for a dollar loser and then watched it dump $15 or something like that. It looks like it's still going, Sharif. So let's get this story. Go find out if it's going to break that 350 mark.
Yes.
It's been knocking on the door, Katina, man. 350 to the T is today's high right now, guys. We're up 4.44%. Couple of headlines on Tesla today. They are gearing up to restart component shipping from China for the Cybercab and the semi-truck. So keep an eye on that separately. They're also launching robo-taxi, Randy, and the federal regulator scrutinizing them, wanting to know, does their camera system, will it be able to detect fog? Will it be able to see through these things? Because Randy, they don't use LiDAR, camera system only. Yeah. So the federal regulator asking for more information from Tesla. Let's see how the response goes. Hey?
I'm trying to figure out.
I don't even know what's happening.
No, I don't know what's happening. Randy's sitting over there. He's chuckling up a storm. Cherie's having fun, and I gotta crank my neck and and not try to hurt myself. But no, we love some Tesla. I got bamboozled. I say bamboozled, but each time on the tape it looked distinctly different when we were jumping in and out of Tesla. Like there was a double bottom. We got out when it looked like it was failing underneath 340. That was the 336, 337 long. Then there was VWAP where it went into the sell wall, and we jumped out thinking we'd get back in, and I never got back in. I'll admit, when it got to VWAP, I was distracted and doing something else. So that should have been a clear reentry. Once it does this move, I'm not really getting back into it. The next question I have for Tesla, I know 350 is a thing, but I'm sort of thinking 360. Because that's the big head and shoulders was at about 360 to 365 on the daily. So in terms of resistance, 350 is a big fat round number, and I'm sure if it happens on a Friday, it's happening in a couple of minutes, then it would matter more. But that 360, I think, is the big next leg where the swing traders and anybody that bought recently in that 220 is thinking about, hey, do I need to take something off here? Do I want to take something off? Do I want to slap a trailing stop on? Because that's a big level coming in on Tesla. First, it has to break 350, which seems at this point a little bit inevitable, like Thanos.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with the snap of a finger, this thing could definitely break that 350. So I'm going long if we do break 350. Here's the, oh, what? I didn't even look at this since I've been back. Wow. I cannot believe I didn't get long there. I was waiting at oh, wow. So I put a bid here at 337, basically 337. I think it was 337.25. That's what I always bid anyways, 25s. And wow, I must have just missed it. To come back from the gym, I would have been in the money there. Would have been 100 shares just to start with. That would have been like a grand. It doesn't matter, don't have it. But yeah, what a great bottom there. We had it twice, boom, boom. And we were, I wish I didn't see this. All right, that's nice. But anyway, Tesla's going, I'm gonna try again. Remember, breakouts have not been great. So we'll play with some shares, and then we'll see what happens after that. So we'll go long. We'll go long like 1 unit with an idea of maybe grabbing 2 or 3 units at one point there. Let's see if it wants to work right now for Tesla breaking through 350. It might as well do it. It's here. It's been fantastic trade the last couple of days. Tesla continues to break higher. No reason not, in my opinion anyways, to grab this level right here, right now. And if it does break it back down below, I mean, I'll talk about it when I'm in it, but this 349 area right into here seems to be a problem. So I can expect it to break, come back into this area. Then if we don't hold, then we'll wind up getting out. So let's see where this next dip kind of gives us, because right now it's looking like 348, basically 50, has been the bottom right now of this last move. So if we break, I'm already having in my mind that it's a $1.50 hit. All right, so that's the kind of share size that I'm going to be planning with early, which is why it's only going to be 1 unit. Then we'll add about a half a unit back as it falls back in through, and then we'll deal with it and get stopped out, and then watch it rip up $15 after we get stopped out. So that's Tesla. It's been a great stock today. We had the long dead to rights twice and basically 3 times, but not sitting here. I can't push the key. So yeah, it was a good gym session today, but missed out on $1,000. And I wouldn't have held it all the way anyways, but. Brief.
All right, guys, there's Randy. I was just talking cars with him. Can I help myself? SMCI, boys, up 17 2/3. Fantastic look on this headline over here. Trading higher after the company announced improvements to its DLC2 direct liquid cooling system. And they're doing a deal, guys, with the Saudi Arabian company DataVolt for a substantial amount. SMCI having yet another good day.
Yeah, look, it's up 18%, but it did what everything else did at the open that was bullish, which was breakdown. And it broke down heavily. You just had to be patient enough to wait for it. I did take 1 swing and miss early, and then it was able to hold 43. What was good about SMCI, oh yeah, not split adjusted. Always have to zoom in and out. The prior high in the daily. Go back to March where it had a brick wall at about 42.5 into 43. Well, one of the things you want to see in a pullback on something that's bullish is when it pulls back into that big area, it finds a bid. And today it found a bid right off that 43 level. Didn't quite get down to 42.5, but it was able to go with 43 long into VWAP. Then it was a VWAP bounce into 46. 46 has been a bit of a problem, but if we can break away from the 46 level, I think this has a good shot to regain some of those highs. The market seems strong enough. Saudi's throwing around that money. We should be playing that song every time we pull up a chip name at this particular point. Shout out to you, Intel, for getting none of that money. But yeah, SMCI looks pretty good. It's running. You can see that it's running into trouble at 46. I think that puts potentially VWAP into play, although it did not hold last time. It was 44.5. So next available dip, I would like to see VWAP hold, but it'll have to prove it to me. Or we want this to break out the 46 quarter and make a run for today's high. I mean, it's not like an all-time high or anything. There just isn't a lot ahead of it on the daily chart. There's a lot of open space for this stock.
Okay, by the way, okay, so what's up, Marlon? What are we going to do about this NASDAQ trade? He says, if you're just talking about the trade that I'm in, I've just been getting some out sort of at these levels. We just got another piece right there. I don't know if it wants to break above, and we've seen the market make fun moves near the end of the day. We'll discuss that as we go, but I do want to talk. So Marlon, give me a second. Look what's happening right now. It's a hot dog kind of day for Robinhood, and I know my guy Joe is long this, but he's fine with this kind of a move down. It's not that bad. We've had a huge move up, so we'll celebrate a little bit. It's Robinhood right now, 60 cents in the money. Your boy is here to trade, and there's another trade right there. So not only it's not one, it's not two, it's
another one.
And then we have another one.
Another one.
And then we're going to give you
another one.
So stay tuned, man. We've got the TQs, we've got Nvidia, we've got Robinhood, and then we've got the one that has to wake up. It is the bear. It is the big one. It is the big bear AI that is hibernating right now. Big bear AI, an amazing 3 cents in the money right now. But what's up, Marlon, and everybody else over there? Trade the pool hat on. All right, Rigetti. Wife made some spaghetti last night, actually.
Right, like. All right, guys. This is a look. There's Brendo. There is a look at Rigetti. I checked with Adira. There's really no specific move or catalyst today for these quantum names, but as you saw during the midday show, they are all moving quite aggressively. Rigetti, no exception here. 17.6%. Needham chiming in today on Rigetti, maintaining that buy, boys, but dropping that price target from 17 down to 15.
All right. Before we go, I just good idea there. Black sheep trades. He said, poke it with a stick there. So here we go. So here goes BBAI. Let's go. Do something. All right. I didn't even look up Rigetti today.
I didn't trade Rigetti today. We have a bad habit sometimes of conflating the quantum plays with the nuclear plays. So I'm going to try not to do that, but. Rigetti showing some strength here, as you can see. QBTS, different. Like a lot of times, I actually like Rigetti off of VWAP here, and I feel like the only reason I didn't take it was because of what was going on here in QBTS, which lost whatever that's algo support, whatever you want to call it, off from the morning. And to me, it's like short this, but it's a W pattern, and if you break the W pattern up, and when you had buyers at like 1085 around here, then you get out. So I'll jump out of QBTS, but I don't want that one long. Like if I'm going in long this afternoon, I'd rather be in the stock which never broke VWAP and is up. And did Rigetti have a fantastic quarter? Most people would tell you no. And it doesn't matter when it's got a 22% short float. Valuation, none of these companies have valuations that make any sense compared to how much sales they have. So you can't really, who cares? Honestly, it's like, it doesn't really make a difference at this point. You could have surprise earnings, but the revenue's so low that it's compared to market capitalization, none of that stuff matters. So I think VWAP matters here. It's breaking trend. I'm out in a couple of cents on QBTS, but it's this one that I would rather be long, and it's the long off VWAP that held. And shout out to the chat for hollering about this when it was such a great move earlier, and better late than never if we can catch this off VWAP. That's all I can say. I know you guys were trading in the midday. Good luck.
Yeah, look, I mean, Rigetti, again, just bouncing off VWAP, I mean, that would be the only trade that I would be saying. I mean, we've made notes. We always make notes, but when a stock is super strong and you've already identified it and it has a late day pullback into VWAP or something like that, that is generally a area where if you're going to try something and maybe either you're not in it or you are in it or whatever, this is generally a level that we'd want to look at for trade, right? So for me there, this makes sense. You know, again, I like that position on Rigetti. If we can get it down there at 1140, I think it would work. So yeah, Rigetti, man, nice play there today. You know, the quantum plays have been going off to that upside. And I mean, no surprise today. I mean, we also had Google. Oh, Google's next. Okay, so I was going to say, you know, in another big quantum play right there, Google continues to also make some moves higher today. So let's go find out what we want to talk about and what the news maybe is specifically with Google. But I just feel like, you know, Rigetti, QBTS, some of the other names there, IonQ and whatnot, bigger names for the quantum play, but Google obviously in there for many other reasons as well. So let's go find out what the play is here for Google. Maybe it's just been so bad it's good.
I think that's what it is, Sean, because there's really no specific catalyst on this today. There was this little tidbit, though, interesting kind of take here by D.A. Davidson analyst Gil Loria, already kind of putting the cart before the horse here, basically saying if Google is to get broken up, its different sections could end up pushing the company to a $3.7 trillion valuation, guys. In any event, we'll have to find out. On the day, though, up 3 4/5.
Who knew? You know, that's all I can say. There's a good Rodney Dangerfield bit. See, that's another guy who, you know what? Actually, you can do a lot of the Rodney Dangerfield stuff is still probably still good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Eddie Murphy stuff you can't do.
But Rodney Dangerfield you cannot do.
Come on, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Women, like, I don't know. I just know that there's some stuff like.
He's so funny, though.
I love Rodney Dangerfield. I mean, we talked about Caddyshack and all that kind of stuff.
Hey,
there was one where he's a swimmer.
Back to School.
It's Back to School.
That's one of the funniest movies ever made. He goes back to school.
I get no respect.
He's just legit, man. Anyways, there's a bit where there's a bit with him and Eddie Murphy, and Eddie Murphy tells a story. And
you know who I was thinking about? Andrew Dice Clay.
But everyone knows you can't do Andrew Dice Clay. Like,
let's not do that.
In our time, you couldn't tell his jokes in school, and that was
in school.
You get in trouble.
You can barely tell any jokes in school these days.
So anyways, for Google, the reason I say who knew is, I mean, come on. Google was the one that, the concerns and all that good stuff. And I'm not sitting here to tell you that, I don't regret selling some, putting into Meta. I like Meta better. It's just the timing of it looks really bad because suddenly Google looks I'm not a chartered technical, what is it again? Chartered market technician. There you go. That's what I'm trying to spit out there. So I can't tell you exactly what this is, except that it looks like a wedge, right? Like since we had the bottom, you've got a distinct wedge, which could be breaking out. All I ever know is what it means when a wedge like that breaks, and it's bullish if it breaks up. Simple, breaks down, bearish, breaks up, bullish, and Google wants to do it now. And if it does, then suddenly you could see this back in like the 180, 185 range. That's the way this market is going. Disappointing to anyone that recently sold, but yeah, didn't see this one as quite the rocket ship that it ended up being. Obviously, I didn't end up trading any Alphabet today. I just did not, like I said, did not see that coming. We'll talk about, I missed something that I should get to. I was meant to talk about this during the chips, so I'll just quickly throw it in here because one, I throw the fail on myself because I had 2 shorts today. Well, okay, 3 because I'm in the third one now. Micron, which was good, should not necessarily have been out of this. There was a story with Micron where they were at the JP Morgan, I forget the name of the conference or whatever JP's doing today, but they spoke and did not update their guidance, which people would expect chip names in a better environment should be updating their guidance, saying things are going to not be as bad or be better, right? Because you have deals happening. Well, with the market making higher highs at the time, Micron's still breaking down. And it's worth showing you that Micron looks bad. We've already shown AMD, which is looking pretty bad. Micron not doing very well. And Intel, I mean, probably not surprising anybody, down at the lows. So when you pull up Nvidia, when you pull up SMCI, when you pull up ARM, just know that not all of those names, not all of the chip space is high flying. Micron, kind of like them. It's a little surprising to see as bad as they're getting hit for simply not updating their guidance at a conference.
Yeah. Remember, Big Bear AI, if it goes down below 375, we're going to get out. It's at 378 right now, and it'll be a flat trade if that happens. End of the day. Okay, we did have a new IPO today. Thank you, Andres. Working fine. All right, so $68. So that's right where we're at right now. To see where we go down to. That was the very bottom. That's not where we IPO'd, though. We IPO'd at 69.69. So I don't know who was responsible for that, but that's where we IPO'd there. I wasn't here again, but it does rip up into $72 and then right back down. Neil was watching it. There wasn't much liquidity there. And then once it found 68 bottom, apparently, then it went back up and made a 74 top and then fell back in. And this is where it's resting right now. So I'm actually thinking that this is a decent long against 67.50 right now for eToro. So I was debating buying some of this, to be honest with you, at this level, and then just trying to use either the 50 period or, it's all the same. This is 67.50 or so for a break, maybe in eToro, but it's not necessarily moving around that much. So this could be one where it just kind of drips and bleeds you out of the position. But, I don't know. I want to have a watch. I want to keep an eye on this one. So 67.50, that's where the 50 period moving average is. Look, it has the ability to do this again, which would be 65. So I think even if I was able to get long, which I think we'll try, I'll put a bid somewhere down here. Even if we were to get long at 67.50 here, my out would probably be a break of right here, like 67, and just hope that we're able to get, a 20-cent spread involved or something. Right now. But yeah, nicely moving downside. Maybe we'll stay away, but I do want to keep this on our vision and on the radar here because this is what we're doing. So we're going to wait to see what happens with eToro. Maybe it's just a 68 break. Maybe we get excited if we break VWAP, which is 70. But again, $70, you feel bad not getting long at 67.50 if it's already at 70. So we'll just wait. We'll just wait to see if that does anything. Just a quick little brief update here. Marlin and everybody else that's in this trade, we took another piece out at 70 when this broke a little bit low. I don't think there's anything wrong with saying maybe it's time to tap out if we do go to the downside. I thought I did have a stop in there, but I was trying to redo some of my stops. So it's still in there for 69.20. So again, like my stop, we're long at 69.31s. We are giving this like 15 cents to the downside in order to make $1. So it's not in order to, but we have made $1 on it. So it's been a pretty good trade. Not $1, we made 80 cents at the high rate there. But so it's been a pretty good trade for the risk to reward ratio, but I don't really want this to come down too much. We're underneath VWAP when we are underneath the 50, underneath the 200. So that puts us like somewhere around here. And that to me looks like a good drop zone for us. 69.75 or so to get out of the TQs. I'm just looking up higher to look at a longer term chart here. This is what a 60-minute chart looks like. It's not really telling me anything. I was just trying to see. That bottom looks really good, man. No wonder why we wound up buying that at 69. So maybe if we can get a dip buy back down there again, that would be all good. So yeah, that's the level for me for the TQs. It looks like 69.75 or so may play for that. So yeah, that's what we're doing right now. I'm going to be pretty happy with it. If we do break below, we'll get stopped out of about 75%. I can put this in for you guys right now. We have a kind of a cool stop order here. I just put in the price, 69.75. Like that, or 74, and then I could just tab down. And I know it's hard to see, but in the bottom left there, it goes from 100 to 25. I'm showing you just right here, 100 to 25 to 50%, 75%. So let's get out of 75% if it breaks 75s, right? We've had a nice run up. We want to put this 40 cents in our pocket for sure, and then possibly, and this will give us an opportunity to reload if it gets lower. So push. Okay, good. Sometimes I was like, push enter, it doesn't get accepted.
If you have another one out, then.
Yeah, that was okay. I did cancel the other one. So, all right, so that's what the play is right now. We'll see what happens on this trade. Looking for, better than what we have right now. And higher is better. We're waiting at 70.20 right now for that trade. The Robinhood, we did empty out the clip down there at the day's low. We're really proud of this one because we flipped it. We had written down here, and if you want to find some trade ideas every single day, I'll be trading the plan on here pretty much every day. So there's Robinhood 62 long. We definitely like the trend. We talked about that with the more crypto talk. We thought that was going to be a hot little look today for crypto, but it hasn't really. It's not done too much there. And especially yesterday with the buy of WonderFi, and we had Kevin O'Leary on and so forth. So we knew the talk was there. But right now, look what's happening. The NASDAQ right now is bouncing. So what goes bump in the night? Futures. There it is. That's a face slapper, Neil. Nice move to the high side. There's that dollar club. So there's the dollar club in the futures. I don't know what's going on, but that's a pretty big move. Probably the biggest move of the day right now happening in the futures. Single move, biggest day move right now in the futures, and glad that we have it with you. So shout out to Marlon and all my traders out there. Hey, what's good, guys? We got this play right now. We're $3 in the money on Nvidia. Big Bear AI is flat, and the futures are bumping. Futures have been a great trade for us lately here on the show. So again, let's see where this is going. It looks like upside right now for the future.
Yeah, great trade. There's no story or anything.
Yeah, I don't hear anything.
Yeah, it just, there was a headline for the trade desk, but I don't think that's actually going to matter at all. No, it's a Microsoft advertising closing its demand side platform, yada, yada, yada.
Yada, yada. Okay.
Yeah, it's one of those. Yeah, that is the story, but that's not going to bump the market.
I'm getting more out. I mean, I don't take advantage of these bumps.
Yeah. No, but it's crazy because I'm looking for SMCI to break out, and it's just not doing it. It runs into this brick wall that somebody is selling this thing under 46, and it just stalls out. There's no continuation through, and it didn't hold. It didn't come close to holding VWAP last time, so I wouldn't just sit on it. Like, it lost VWAP by a full $1 the last time it got underneath. So whoever is doing the selling is certainly winning. At this point, I want this breaking out the top. Tesla, no 350 break yet, but I mean, there's still time. So VWAP 350. I don't want to diddle in the middle. Rigetti, which I want to get into. I'm just going to cancel. When it's trending like this, there's no point sitting there for VWAP. I want to get out of qubits when it hits my stop, which it's somewhat close to. It's just above 90. Oh, there it goes. So qubit, it's D-Wave, everybody. I call D-Wave qubits because it's QBTS. That's on me. And whatever, when my wife bought it, I was like, buy qubits. And she's like, what is that? I'm like, it's D-Wave. But it just broke that consolidation. So if the algos come back in buying, I don't want the weak one, I want the strong one. And the strong one is going to be Rigetti. So I want Rigetti, SMCI break. Tesla, it's not flying around enough that I think you're going to get, like, 350 is going to come out of nowhere and just start breaking it to the upside. But there is also the chance that you could have a quick test up and a pullback, and then if it does that, then there's an opportunity to buy the dip going into it. That's the other way to look at getting into Tesla. But for now, just going to be patient with it. It's been like a pick your spots and snipe kind of day. Like, to me, that's what's worked today. So I want to make sure I stick to that bit of a plan. And by the way, that IPO stunk. It didn't smell right to me, and so I'm like, I'm going to size way down on it. I did not take the opening print because I didn't trust the amount of liquidity on it. It ended up being right. And I can tell you it did initially go up. Depending on how fast you are on the keys, I think if you punched in, like, if I saw it bounce off 68, which the plan of action, first even dollar I see it bounce off of, I'm going to punch long and throw a stop. So it did go up initially and then slammed. So, like, I just had time to put my stop in. It was triggering and then made the bottom wick. I'm like, I'm not touching it with a 10-foot pole. There was no bid down there. And yeah, it's going to look like, yeah, but that's like a standard. You could have had $4 or $5. True. But the other side of that is if it lost, I promise you it would have been way more risk. If it took the CoreWeave size, it would have been way more risk than anything I'd ever done on an IPO. Because I'd never seen liquidity that bad on the open underneath the bid. Like, there was no size at all. And now it's starting to fall apart. I don't think I paid. I paid for locates, but I don't know if I want to be short this thing, especially with the spread like 50 cents. So Rigetti, Tesla, right now, SMCI. Those are three names. If there's anything else that anybody's watching, let us know if it's moving. Right now, I feel like these are the ones that I want to be involved in. You just got to be patient with it. Like, nothing really happening in SMCI. I doubt it just hangs around here forever.
All right, Fabian, here we go. I mean, sometimes I look down at my net and I'm like, am I green or am I red? So I'm going to figure this out right now. The world's #1 online colorblind test. Okay, so I'm going to take the test, right? Start the test right here. What number do you see here? A 4. Okay, so there it is, a 2. And then we'll go a 7. Ooh. You guys can play along with me, okay? This is a 9. All right, there's a 5. You guys let me know, I mean, if we think there's a 3 right here, there's a 9. I mean, Fabian, how long is this, my guy? This is an 8 right here. There's a 2 coming in. That's going to be a 1. That's going to be a 2 again. That's going to be a 7. There's going to be a 1. Ooh, actually trying to trick me over here. Actually looks more clear on our screen than it does on this screen here. That's a 4. That's a 2. Oh, that's a 2 though, but that's true. Uh-oh, that's a 3. Okay, that's a 2. Ooh, a 5, let's go with. Ooh, this This looks hard. I can see it on the screen. It looks easier, but it's a 9. That's a deuce.
Good.
Where does it say?
It's like no thanks. You have to click. It's kind of silly.
Okay.
They want you to pay for something.
What happened?
Yeah, normal color vision.
Oh, it said oh, there it is. That's all that it says?
That's all it tells you. It doesn't tell you.
I thought it would say like you're Superman or something, but no, it didn't say.
You know what's cool? I was doing this, so there's.
Yeah, they say take these off, it says.
Well, some of them, it's weird because some of them.
Obviously, why would you want these on?
Look a little clear, and then some you flat out not see the number. When
you can't do a color test when you're using these.
Of course you can. Just very quickly, let's go to Adair.
Yeah, put these on.
If you're wondering what happened to Netflix, I have the story. Basically, Netflix saying it now has 94 million subscribers to its ad-supported service. Unclear why this necessarily results in a drop. But either way, this has been strong all day now, falling up from $11.50 at the start of this candle. That would be $1,050 to a low of $1,130. So $20 move here for NFLX. So it's trying to make some of that back. Again, 94 million subscribers to its ad-supported ad-supported streaming service. If I get any more details on this story, I will let you know. And back to you.
Yo, what's up, Tammy B? What, Tammy KB? What do you mean Sean cheated? How did I cheat? I didn't cheat. I don't know if wearing glasses would have been cheating or not, but
well, it asked you at the beginning if you're wearing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I said
the glasses that they're selling, obviously.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
I don't know
so
why that's so bad
we can have a look at Netflix. I mean, I don't know if that
right
number.
back to where it was.
Yeah, exactly. So not knowing what 91 million means to them, I have no idea. But I do know that Netflix, you want to buy any dips. But see, this is not really like what a surprise. It goes right into where we opened the day. Like that's just crazy. If you were waiting there, congratulations, you just get a $20 gift. Down to $11.30 if you were just playing the bottom, and then a rip right back up there as 91 million ad supported there. So I don't know if that's good or not, but I guess the market didn't like it earlier, and then they do.
Really not good enough.
They do now, so nice little job there for Netflix and their shareholders. Doesn't look like that's going to affect too much. All right, that bump there on the TQs, man. If you're not sitting there, and we just talked about that with the NASDAQ, if you're not sitting there, then you don't get, with Netflix, if you're not sitting there, you don't get the fills. We were, and we talked about that when Marlon asked me at 2:15, and we interrupted when we were talking about Robinhood or whatever, which, by the way, I have more information on that. I said this would be a great area for us to get out. So that's what we did, man. We got out at 30s, some of them, and that was a decent play. We're still going to get out of 75% if it breaks, but that number is now a heck of a lot less than what it was before, because even on the way back in, I took some more out right there at $70. Oh, Netflix is presenting at the Performing Arts Center in New York. So if you are there in fabulous NYC and would like to go see what's going on over there, let us know. Send us a picture. Performing Arts Center in New York is what Netflix is all about. All right, so we flipped up our game on Robinhood, and this is what I wanted to get to because we, again, sitting at the low of the day, 61.10s right there. We take that out. And sure, we were long. I mean, I'm never going to avoid talking about the ideas that I have written down or the trades that I've taken because I feel fine about all of them, right? I mean, I know when we screw up and when we're getting out of our sort of, comfort zone, and we weren't at all with Robinhood. We let it come all the way in. I was sitting here. I was like 62. I mean, I didn't have a bid, but once it came into 62, I said, this is a level that I liked earlier on in the day down there for $62. We had missed it a couple times early when it mattered. And then when it didn't matter, it really didn't matter, and it broke through 62 pretty easily, man. It cut like a knife. Like we didn't get too many opportunities to even really get out of it. We got in. We averaged in there at 61.90. So we took a 62.02. Then we took because it bumped up like that, and I was like, oh my God, I missed it. So then when it fell back in, I actually got that price, and then we got a 90 there. So our average price was like 61.95 or so, and then we got out once it broke that shelf there of 85. So that would make sense. That's what I normally do. So that's 10 cents worth of risk. And then I was like, nah, we're going to short this. And then we did the short, and now we're still in that one. So again, once we realized that relative strength didn't exist in this name, and it wasn't going to bounce off a level that I thought, we wound up going short there. Now, I wish I was short 62 instead of 61.75, but, is what it is, and we'll take what we got. So that's going to be a good one there. There go the NASDAQ back to the upside. And then just one last talk, and then I'm going to look for new trades. I already have a few new ideas. But right now, Nvidia is coming right back up to this high. I just want to make sure I have an out. I do 135.18. So I'm sitting right here at this level. Hopefully we can come up, hit us right there, and we'll hold the rest. But yeah, so far so good here this afternoon. Let's go look for some more trades. We'll pass it off to Neil, see what he's working with, and then I have an idea.
The only new one, I mean, the same three I'm looking at it, with the only fourth, the new fourth being AMD with a bit of a rounded bottom in here. So the good thing for AMD is it has not, despite the downtrend, it has not broken out where we were when the news hit this morning. And you can see it was literally at 116.5, and that's now the low. And it's making a nice lower highs into some higher lows. We're attempting to put in the higher lows now. Once it confirmed the higher low, you get the rounded bottom and then a break at the top back at that 117.5, which I like. So that's what I'm looking at currently, unless Tesla does something in the next few minutes, SMCI does something, which it's not right now, at least for now. There was a question in the chat. Someone asked about the 3-minute versus 1 minute. I used to use the 1 minute chart. I just find that anecdotally, like I take way more different entry points on a 1 minute. Like you see more stuff. And I like the 3-minute better. I tried the 5-minute for a bit, and the 3 just found like it was a comfort zone for me in terms of finding the entries. Generally speaking, big levels, I want daily charts. I want 15-minute charts. I think you find levels from the higher time frame down, and it kind of works for trends as well to give you a bias for direction. But I prefer the 3. You have to find what works for you. Some people like a 20 instead of a 15. They'll probably tell you almost the same thing. And for the long term, man, I love weekly and monthly charts when looking at the long term. I find that keeps you in check big time, for sure. HK, can you look at Meta? Yeah, if everything starts moving to levels I like, why not? See, this is why I'm not that upset about Alphabet. Meta's doing just fine. Meta breaking back out. It's not really a W pattern, but it like kind of already broke one of those. I don't see any reason Meta's not at 680 at the end of the week here, even if it's having a muted day at 0.5%. If the market's just going to sit around, well, I'd rather it just be holding the highs. It's better than the alternative, right? So Meta, I think, having a fine day just because Google's going crazy. Well, Meta already went crazy yesterday. So I think you're just going from one to the other and hopping around here. I don't really see much of a trade. Complete inside day, I think that can be good, but Meta's known for like consolidating for a few days. It could easily consolidate for a week and then go again. Sometimes you get a little bit of chop and then a big move and then a little bit of chop and then a big move. So you just had the big move, a day or two of chop. That's perfectly reasonable for Meta, but it's on the upward trend, no question about it. And I just said, what about SMCI? Well, it's still failing underneath 46, and it hasn't really shown me like a solid level of support, just these little tiny wicks in here at a level which was not respected the last time it got there, which is the volume weighted average price. I'm waiting for something distinct, like a real trend down that can be reverted, a breakout above this 46 resistance, it's more like 46.25, or something clean off of either 44.5 or the volume weighted average price. Neither one of those things happening just yet. So you gotta be patient for it. And Peter, Alibaba, oh goodness. Tomorrow morning we get Baba, we get Walmart, a couple of big ones that are going to matter and matter a lot. I think Baba's had quite the impressive rally. So I don't know how much I feel great about buying in here in Baba. As a matter of fact, I said I'm not considering buying until I get something closer to the 200-period moving average, or I can digest whatever it is they say in the earnings. Usually the fundamentals are pretty good with Alibaba, and then it doesn't matter as much as you want it to. And that's my concern with them. It's like I think it might not be too bad. If anything, it might be okay. But it's the action that happens after that has me a little skittish. I feel like people want the American stocks right now. And Baba having a good day, but I'm not a buyer up here. I want to be buying back into it. Not the 80s again, but the 200 period.
All right, you're right there in the chat. Nvidia's cooking again. Good look there. What's up, Other Zinc? You're talking my love language. As there goes Nvidia. We're getting close. You know what, man? I was waiting for 18s here on Nvidia. I might let's just take a 13 right now if we can get it. Okay, well, we got it pretty easily there. So we'll take a 13 there. Why not, man? I mean, we just traveled up 70 cents from that low, or a little bit more than that, 80 cents. So let's take advantage of that and get out at the best spots we have. It is your 1, 2, 3, winner right there. You see, we got the collared shirt on there to match Mini-Me over there today. He's gone for right now. Shout out to Joe. All right, so just that's that. Oh, my next trade that we're getting ready for. I know I teased a little bit, but I'm still waiting for this Tesla, man. I mean, I really want this Tesla here at 350. I am going to play the break. I'm well aware that this could. I kind of just do want action, like a little bit of an action junkie here. Let's see if we can break that level. I think it's a smart play. We talked about, Joe mentioned there, all the options that were sitting here at 350. For me, I've not done enough work to know that that means anything. So I'm just going to wait, because I guarantee you there was just as many probably at 325, and I can go back and look to see what that looked like when it probably smoked it. But we'll just wait to see. That could create a move down. I could see it breaking, maybe going $1 or $2, and then the pressure of all those options maybe hit it, and it starts to come back in. But I don't, short covering at 350 is also another thing that could wind up happening. So we're going to wait to see what happens with Tesla there at 350. And I do have a dip buy, but it's not until down here. We talked about the levels that I liked for dip buy. We should have probably just bought the 200 period again and not been so silly with it. But we're going to wait $1.50 away from hopefully a monster. What's up, Adara?
So with Netflix, I did find out some context for this story. So in case you missed it, NFLX, big drop here, announcing 94 million subscribers to its ad tier. So apparently, we actually had JP Morgan estimating they were looking for over 100 million ad tier users. So we missed by at least 6 million users here for NFLX. That's what people are speculating was the reason for that drop on that number. Again, NFLX reporting a smaller amount of monthly active users for its ad-supported tier than expected, but only from, as far as I can tell, based on the JP Morgan expectation. If I find any more details on this, if there's any context I'm missing, I will fill you guys in right away. Back to you.
I don't know what I'd buy if I sell some Netflix. But I mean, I shouldn't care whatsoever.
I mean, you missed Disney already. It's just ripping like
that was
crazy.
the rotation I made that worked before.
Yeah,
it's like
you could go the other way.
Go the other way. That's actually not a bad idea. I'm gonna look at Disney tonight on the train, this evening on the train, and maybe that is the play, because I am thinking it's selling some Netflix. Netflix has been really baseball been very good to me.
Baseball has been very good to me.
Who was that? Sammy Sosa?
I think it was a guy on the Pirates. Really good. I mean, Alomar used to talk like that. I forget his name. Definitely a National League guy.
It's a National League guy. It doesn't matter because no one wants to bet on the National League tonight. Everyone wants to bet on the Maple Leafs tonight.
Will Clark.
Don't at me.
Roberto Clemente.
Roberto Clemente could be. Shout out to ProfitX, guys, because if you want the best odds when you're looking at maybe the PGA Championship this weekend, starting tomorrow, because tomorrow's Thursday, or maybe the Knicks, maybe the Leafs, well, ProfitX brings you peer-to-peer picking, open API access for automation, and cost-efficient trading of your bets all in one place. You're day trading your favorite sports, everybody. Bids, offers, match plays, even manage risk with diverse prediction options. Don't just place your picks, exchange them, manage them. ProfitX is a smarter and faster way to play. Use the code TraderTV to sign up and get the 2% cash back up to $300. Go Leafs, go now plus 132 on the money line.
Plus 132? Hammer it.
Well, okay, so
hammer time.
We already have 119.
That's like Nvidia 131 right now.
We already have 119. What would I put in?
We already have 119. Oh, so we're averaging into this?
Yeah.
Okay. Put like like $100. How many do we? How much?
We already have 100. I'm going to put another 100.
How much do we have though? Available 420?
We're doubling up.
Okay.
Close to the game.
I was going to say let's put 2 bills on it, but that's fine.
Wait till game time. We can always add more.
So we already have 100.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So now we're putting 200.
Yes.
Okay.
That's what we already have 100 on it. So
plus money at home?
Yeah. Take it to our open play.
I'm fine with that.
We're good to go. So now
Joseph
we have
is our wonder wall.
125 on the Leafs. Go Leafs, go! Like I said.
All right, here let's do a quick little comparison as we always do, and I always screw it up. So hold on a second here. FanDuel, resume. Oh, it says resume browsing. Okay, that should be easy. Thanks, Google. Is that like a new feature there?
That's how it should be.
Yeah, there it is. I just typed in FanDuel, and it came up and said resume browsing. Oh, by the way, Aaron Judge, like what the hell is going on? We're about to break Tesla?
Yes.
All right, see you Maple Leafs, who gives a crap? All right, so here we go. Tesla right now. All right. Let's go. We said this was going to be our next trade, so it will be our next trade. And I'm going long here. I only crossed up to 20s. Let's see what we wind up getting here. If I miss it, that's fine. I remember I missed it the first, I think when we broke through 3 bills or maybe it was 325. No, I did. I missed it. I don't know.
I think this isn't going to miss.
I hope this, well, I don't know. There's the short again. So you can play this both ways. There's nothing wrong with going both ways. Okay, here we go.
No comment.
349. Well, that's why I kind of laughed there. So what I mean is like you could go short now and give yourself $1 as well to the upside. I wouldn't go short and get out immediately if it breaks 350 because I don't know the price you're going to get. But if you're being super conservative and you have a lot of shares, then, I mean, cross up maybe 50 cents. Therefore, if you're short, like you could just be short there at 90s. It actually went to 98 there again. So that would be 50 cents in the money right now. So if I had that trade and if I were you or whatever, that's what I would do. I would take out half right now if you just shorted it and then don't reload it if it comes back up. If this thing drops $5, hell of a trade. Hats off to you. And if it rips higher, then you'll be flat on the trade. So you've already taken the short. If you don't like it, reward yourself, get out now. There's $1. Congratulations on the $1 short right there. Even more than that. Obviously not smart enough to do that, but there it goes to the downside. We got excited. It just did 5 straight candles to the upside there. Yeah, down now goes Tesla. So again, if you're in this trade and you just shorted it, I think this is a cover. It's basically broken and failed again. Like, it didn't break, but this is the move that you can actually expect.
That's as close as you can get to.
Yeah, you can actually expect that kind of a move.
99.
So I'm convincing myself right now I'm going to buy. I just bought in pretty small right now because I'm almost treating that as a break and a fail. So let's start right now. This way, watch this. 349.95. Let's get out of the majority of this. If it does rip back up, let's make 70 cents one way. And remember, our stop is still going to be here. If we break 348, we're in like a third of a unit. It's not a big trade right now, but there's the pullback for sure. So we might wind up losing. We already know our plan of action right now. If it does fall back into the 50-period moving average, we can get out. So that's 348. We'll probably average it in a little bit just to see, but I don't want to get too carried away with this trade. You know, we're trying to be fancy like here. It is pulling back off that 350. Let's just see if it wants to work. Bishwajit, can we buy UNH now? You could buy anything right now. I think
I'd
you could buy.
wait for a couple of days.
Yeah, Neil indicated 290 or something yesterday, something like that. I say yes. You could buy it now. And again, it's not like this is not like financial advice or anything like that. It's just on this kind of a move down with such an iconic company. And I know that everything's changing right now in the landscape of the United States. I mean, I don't need to tell you guys that, and I don't even know that much about it. But like when a company goes from 600 down to 300 in 2 weeks, generally speaking, I know they pulled forward guide. There's no way in you know what that they can even guide. How could you guide when they're going through all these Medicare changes and so on and so on? It's impossible. So I don't necessarily think that means that they're done with, but they have gotten clocked out. They're obviously a big Dow component. Okay, so we'll lose it looks like we may lose $1 here on Tesla.
Yeah.
I'm going to try one more play just right into here. And then if we do break, I guess I got to cancel my other stop because I can't have multiple stops out here for Tesla. So we'll work on that. We'll cancel that right now. And here comes back in Tesla. So I said that if we broke like this 348 area that we would get out. So it is coming back in right now pretty decently. So 348, 347, 99. I'm just going to get out if it breaks. I'm not going to feel any kind of ways about it. We don't have a huge position on here. It'll be a loss, but one that I thought was probably worth the shot right there. So you're into SMCI.
Well, that just came in.
Yep.
Well, I'm staring down Tesla for a bounce as well.
Yeah,
but
same,
SMCI just came into the support level that it was at. So anyways, I'm staring down because if Tesla does this, like I don't know, to me, this time it's not going to base out. Like, I don't think this pullback is going to result in 15 minutes of going sideways. I think it's going to have a candle like that or some kind of a quick reversal that you're going to want to buy into like this. And so I want to jump into Tesla. SMCI, this is just the same support that it's had in each of these dips in front of VWAP, which is about 45 and a quarter.
Tesla.
So yeah, I just saw the same thing. Like, it looked good for a split second, and then it just instantly stopped. Yeah, the sellers, the NASDAQ's coming back a little bit, but you know what? The NASDAQ's above the volume-weighted average price as well. So as long as we're holding higher lows, the other point here is there. I should always, Thing is, if I don't hit save, then the next time I come to the chart, it doesn't show up again. And it's 3 o'clock, so I have that invalid session.
Oh,
thing,
break
so
50s.
It's got to hold this 348, which to me means breaking the $0.5. But this trend line is going to be important. If we don't hold this trend from VWAP, because now that you've got 2 distinct points, that's what I wanted to buy into. I've now hit save, so now I can flip from this stock to another stock and still have my nice trend line that you guys can know I want to be out in front of. SMCI just pulled into what the prior support, so if it holds VWAP, great. If it doesn't, I'll be out of it. Ideally, this would be a breakout as well, 46, but the buyers have been losing the battle up at the 46 level. As we just entered power hour, and we need some power to come back to take us to the upside. And AMD, by the way, yeah, that higher low we're looking for, AMD's not doing it. I'm not really looking at AMD anymore. This is why. Just not a lot of action, no distinct price action at all. Sort of languishing at the bottom here, unfortunately, for advanced micro devices. I guess we should have a new nickname for it.
AMD?
Well, it's actually bullish.
It just broke through.
It's bullish on the daily chart.
Right, we just broke through 348, but then it just came right back. I'm going to try one more time. 347.89 or so. We'll see about getting out. So we bought back in again there on that break. We just lost 50 cents. We were long at, or a little bit more, about 60 cents. We were long at 348.60 right there. It broke. Okay, see, sometimes you lose more money just trying to fool around with this thing, so I'm going to be done with it. It is right here. We still like the 350 break. I think now we might as well wait until at least 346, where we sort of stopped at last time. That could be a decent trade right there, but there it goes, man. Again, like, we traded with, everyone has different styles, but like the shares that I had to punch out on that. So even if this goes back up, it doesn't matter. I had to do proper risk management for myself there. So I'm out of that trade, and now we'll wait to see what winds up happening with TSLA, right? So, oh, and by the way, we did look there. So it did give some back there, that's for sure, but not that much. We about had 1 unit at the end of it. We talked about how much we were trying to risk there. There's the Maple Leafs plus 120 on FanDuel. So plus 132 over there we just got, which I was like hammer time on that one.
Remember I told you we shouldn't have gone yesterday, because the real thing, and for anybody that goes into Profit X, we're testing the trend line right now. So here is your trend. If it closes under, normally I'd short, but I'm not thinking short right now. So my stop is just underneath here. And there it goes. So hands off. It doesn't hold on to the trend line. I wanted to buy back into the trend line, but it doesn't hold. To me, usually the next long is either back on trend or at VWAP by rule, which is a long way away. It's a long way away to get to VWAP, which makes it tricky, because I don't think with Tesla, if it's going to go, I don't think you can wait for it to fall $3. Might have to try to pick something else up somewhere in the middle of the range, like some kind of a bottoming tail candle. My point with Profit X, though, is like, make sure you place on day of. Like, sit outside the book for good lines before the event, and then the day of, wait to hammer it when you get the better odds. That's my take on the best way to play with them. Let's go to Adara.
Tons of earnings names would watch tomorrow morning. Alibaba, John Deere, and Walmart all reporting before the bell. After the bell, we'll get Kava and Take-Two. So lots of names on watch for earnings. Tons of economic data on watch as well, including a speech from Fed Chair Jerome Powell at 8:40 a.m. Then we're also going to get some industry events. Uber attending a JP Morgan conference, and Eli Lilly attending an American Society of Gene and Cell Therapy conference or meeting as well. So lots of things to keep an eye out for. If you want all these details in a quickly accessible way, go to X at TTV Research, and stay tuned, because I will be posting an infographic giving you the expected moves for tonight's earnings and tomorrow morning's earnings very shortly. Back to you.
All right, thank you.
Big earnings tonight, and if you're looking at the one that's reporting, same thing happening on CoreWeave over and over and over again. Someone's in control of this underneath 67. So whether it's profit taking, going into the earnings play, I should show you a daily chart. By the way, CoreWeave's at an all-time high. So someone's selling right above the all-time high on CoreWeave. Maybe they don't want to hold into earnings. That's what it seems like to me. You know what? I didn't pay for locates in here. But if the market's going to come down, somebody else is selling. My general rule is, if you see a seller, why not join them? Like, if some algo or some big wig or somebody who's been selling this stock, it probably makes some sense to join the party. I just got to price out locates, because only an hour to go. If they were too expensive, which they won't be, then you wouldn't want to pay for it.
All right, yeah, Tesla's still at 347 right now. We're holding a small long at 347, waiting to see if it wants to do something. We should have just, and again, remember we talked about this? I was like, wow, you know, if you went short there, just get out a half and then wait for $5. Like, basically, now it's $3. And looks like it wants to go lower. So this is what I mean, right? Like every day, there's opportunities to make a killing in these markets just by trading some of the names that we are doing right here. Not by going this way, of course. Going short would have worked. Thank you, David, one more time there. A little free gift. Thank you so much. One free membership to everybody out there. Go grab it. Now, I think you gave like 10 earlier today, so thank you, David.
And yesterday.
For that. Yeah, it seems like every day. Yeah, thank you so much for that as we try to keep our members rate here. It's free to subscribe. Make sure you do hit that like and the subscribe to get every, the little bell, those ring-a-ding-dings right there. Shout out to Yeet. Okay. So TQQ here, we're going to find out what's going on right now. We just got some more out to Marlin, so shout out to you. As we break through 70s again, we're getting lighter and lighter and lighter on that position. Big Bear AI, fortunately, we tried to wake it up. I mean, here, we'll do this one more time. This is going to be the last time. I don't know if it's going to do anything. I mean, if it breaks back down below 2 more pennies, I'm going to get out at 375. That's the low of the day. This little wick right there is, basically 75s. So we're going to get out if it breaks that. That was sort of always the plan of action here today on Big Bear AI. So, yep, that's that. The Robinhood's doing what it's doing. So the trade that we were waiting for is Tesla. It came, it went. We're still in it. We're going to wait to see if it breaks 346. We're out of Tesla. Looking up there, one of the weaker names, we indicated this earlier on today. Nobody's in it over here, but Intel down 4%. I mean, in a NASDAQ that's up today, very interesting to see that relationship with Intel and the NASDAQ and other chip names. And we sort of played the game where what's wrong with it? And it was just that no mentions really in Saudi Arabia. Donald Trump right now is at dinner with everybody. So we'll see if there's some mention of he's having his speech or something right now. So we'll just wait. I mean, this is not going to be a stock-specific speech, I wouldn't think, but you never know. So we'll have to wait to see what happens with Intel. But for right now, downside protection there is 2150. So I think Intel's a buy. I really do. Like I like the space. I like the chip space. And like down to the 50-period moving average, I don't know. If you're not in it, it's look, it sucks, right? I mean, to lose 10%, you could lose $2, but down into here into 19. I mean, again, I think that's if you bought some now and you bought some down here again, I don't think it's the end of the world. I mean, I basically did that with Eli Lilly. We bought some Eli Lilly yesterday at 50s, right? 750, I think, was exactly the price. I bid and got it. We talked about that on the show. I put the bid in earlier on in the day, and now it's like if it comes back in. Fine, I will buy some more down here at some of these bottom wicks, right? That's 7, that's where we are right now. It's these ones that have held up pretty good down into 670. Like, I think that's worth another buy, maybe for the same amount, and just kind of see what happens. I, believe in the drug there and just think that just for other things. Obviously, Donald Trump called it the fat pill or whatever the other day, but it does work for that. Apparently,
it works for a lot of other things.
Works for a lot of other things. So that's more what I'm interested in. Right there is what's next for said drug. Okay, so there we go. Now we're getting out. Now it's 50 cents in the money. Let's take another piece out if it gets to 75. We just took a 65. We'll take a 75. That was 10% out. We'll take 10% out again here on Tesla. Finally holding out at that 346, 347 area. Be nice. Oh, we got it actually? Yeah, we did. We got that 75 fill. So we get a 6, there it is. So we get a 65 there and a 75 on Tesla. Look at it dancing. Like Tesla's super hard to trade today, not just because we did this and lost, but because it's just so like how did we just get 75s and now it's 50 cents, 70 cents against us? Obviously, we see the market, but this is very jittery. If this breaks 346, man, I'm out of here on Tesla. No point in putting an L on the board to end the day. So we'll not get too carried away, but that's the trade there for Tesla. We got out there of 20%. 10% the first, 10% the next, and those were only for about 50 cents and 60 cents respectively. Other than that, we sit on our hands and wait for that. UNH is going red. Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily like the name there.
UNH just continues to trend down. And don't put it all on Intel. Micron's having an absolutely horrible day too. If anything, Micron's having a worse day. So we lost VWAP on SMCI, but before VWAP wasn't a thing, it went down to 44.60 and put a bottoming tail candle in. So I was willing to go long and get out if it broke VWAP and then broke the prior bar low, so long in front of VWAP. There's the bar that breaks. When it can't hold on the next, I just punch out of it. Does a bottoming tail, I jump back in as if it was this move there. And then CoreWeave took the high. So maybe it does want to fly. Maybe it does want to go. I'm not going to give it too much room.
Were you long or short? Oh, you were short.
I'm not taking the long break into it.
Okay.
They report at 7 o'clock. And it's like...
That's not going to be
It's
true.
at all-time highs. I hope that's not true. I'm kind of hoping what'll end up happening is we'll do the market recap show, and then all of a sudden we're going to have earnings for CoreWeave, as opposed to coming in tomorrow morning, because all the other earnings are tomorrow morning. It's a lot to digest. So we're back in this SMCI, and I did want to go to Micron because at this point, it's like it's so bad. Look at the V-shape that it put on, as I fight a sneeze, the V-shape that it put on this morning. It was right at about, here, 94.25. So yes, should still be short. Obviously, that's true, but it doesn't matter. Not in it anymore. It's been rolling over, and each one of these has been a bigger and bigger fall. So breaking this current trend, it almost doesn't matter. Like it'll be like a flicker is going to break this trend. But when it's at a level like this, bottoming tail, which will not be like it was in the pre-market. Obviously, that was on news, on light volume because it's a pre-market. But I want to get into this one because this is where it had the support on Micron. Yeah, and again, all they did was not update their guidance at a conference. That's it. And because they didn't do that, they got punished today. And on the daily chart, it's at a big time put up or shut up moment because the 200 period average, moving average, has been the huge rejection zone for the stock. It'll break it, but it can't hold it for more than a couple of days. The second this holds above the 200 period, can consolidate a level and break out that level, this is a swing long. But it just hasn't done it yet. So you've been sitting here waiting for this to happen on Micron, and once again today, it looks like it is unable to do so. All right, well, if it's still trending down, then we have to wait for it. But at some point, I can see a reversion on Micron, even if it just bounces like a buck and you can risk 20 cents.
All right. So, yeah, Nvidia, a little undercover brother right now because we're back near the highs of the day on Nvidia. So we are going to take out another piece right here at 20s. So that was a good, or sorry, at 17s. So that was a good one. Nvidia going oppo what Tesla's doing. Tesla's just hanging out. Nvidia is going out right now, trying to get back up to the highs of the day. Right now for Nvidia, we are now 20 cents away from that exact level right there. Unless the highs of the day were early. No, so we've already passed where we got out before. Now you're up above 135. So let's go Nvidia right now. So we'll see what it wants to do, but that's so far so good. Oh, just to talk about the same names, like I've only traded 5 names today. Neil's at 11 names. I don't know how many the guys in the midday do, but I think we're doing a pretty good job covering many different things for you. So 5 names for me, 11 names for Neil. Look, we just got out right there at 348. Again, sorry, 347.60s, whatever that, 65s, whatever, something like that. So we just got out multiple times, 3 times into there, but I'm still holding 75% of this trade. So my next offer is at 348, then 348 quarters, right, which would be $1 from now. I don't know, it'd be nice, but who knows? And then after that, sky. So hopefully we do have blue skies ahead for the market. We do know that there it goes again, so shout out to my guy Marlon and anybody else. This is an old school one. Maybe you haven't seen this before, but we're flossing it off on the TQs right now as it going upside right there. We're at $70.16 for some reason for our next out. So here it goes, 15s. Give me that fill. It's a face slapper. Shout out to Mini-Me. This is one of his favorite ones. Here we go back up to there to the upside. Let's see what winds up going. 347.50. We're trying to get for Tesla, but there goes the TQs. That was good. The best fill we got was on that crazy spike that we had up there into $70 before. Robinhood, and then we'll move on to maybe something else. This is another name that we've been in just for a minute. It's starting to make higher moves right now. We have 12% left of Robinhood, and I was going to get out at the 200 period moving average, but to be honest with you, that basically puts us flat on this particular trade. So I'm gonna put a bid here at 54. And why I bid 54 is I'll get paid adding liquidity here. And we do have this talk, I don't need these glasses on. We do have, there he goes. So we do, wow, that changes everything when you take those glasses off, by the way. Wow. Okay, so by sitting on the bid and getting run over like we just did there, ARCA, for what I just used, will pay, and I didn't put 1,000 shares there, but it's only $2 per 1,000 shares, give or take, right? Don't at me if I'm off there by a couple percentage points. So if I punch out, which 54 might not have been a good trade because now it's at 49, but if I take this side, then I'm removing what we call removing liquidity. So when that happens, I pay for that $2. It's more than that, to say $2.50 or $3 to remove liquidity. So that's why often you'll see us talk about sitting around on levels, waiting for fills. Sometimes it costs you way too much because if we're talking 1,000 shares, 1 penny is $10. So to sit over here to make $2 and then watch the stock get away from you makes no sense. But I'm just scaling in and out of this trade, so it's not like a full default. So I'm okay doing that kind of stuff and getting away with it. Oh no, Neil. It's back, baby. The Dollar Club is back in the building. And there it goes, man. There goes Tesla. Our next offer is right here at 25s. And there it is. It is a hot dog gun kind of a play right there. Bang for Tesla. So we take a couple hits, but then we ring the Reggie on the upside. Shout out to Reggie White. And a shout from yesterday.
Reggie White?
Yeah, man.
Green Bay Packer.
Yeah, one of the best defensive linemen of all time, literally.
Top 3.
Okay, I'll take it. Shout out to Bruce Smith. I mean, he would be there as well. But unfortunately, Bruce Smith doesn't have any rings, as we all know, unless he won it with another team. But here we go. Let's go back over the desk with Adara.
No, you didn't.
Just be aware here. We have some comments coming through from Boeing and Qatar Airways. Here's my mic on. We're good. Okay. Boeing and Qatar Airways both commenting on this Qatari purchase of Boeing planes here at about $96 billion deal. Boeing says that Qatar Airways orders are going to be supporting nearly 400,000 jobs in the U.S. and also saying that Qatar Airways purchase also includes additional orders for Boeing's new 777-9. Qatar Airways further saying that their landmark order with Boeing includes up to 210 Boeing wide-body jets, and they praise GE. Now, in case you missed it, GE really hasn't moved much on this catalyst, but GE is also involved and implicated in this deal. Qatar Airways specifically saying that the GE Aerospace aspect of the deal would be the largest wide-body engine purchase in the history of GE. This is coming from Qatari Airways. Back to you.
We were just debating. He asked me who had never been to the Super Bowl. I said Detroit, I thought. Okay, so confirm Detroit.
I was just saying you'd rather be the Bills in Detroit, man.
Yes, of course.
I'd rather be in the... Look, man,
you got to get to the dance. Getting there 4 times in a row is sweet.
If I'm a competitor, I would rather be in 10 Super Bowls and lose all 10 of them than never have made it to one. I don't care. Like, people are like, oh, it must hurt so much to lose. Get out of here,
Of course it
man.
does.
Like, of course it does. But like, I'd go to the Olympics to finish last, man, because you got there. That's what I'm talking about. Like, at least be there. So shout out to the Buffalo Bills.
I mean, that's why we sit here and we trade, right? I mean, you only have so many experiences in your life. You know, like Tesla's only going to break 350 once. It's not coming back.
Well, it's broken 350 a few times.
It's broken 350 probably 5 times in its history, maybe even more than that. No. Up and down through 350.
Upwards, maybe not, but
I don't know.
Up and down.
But no matter what we're talking about right now, it's $1 for the TQs. It's $3 for Nvidia. It's $1.50 for Tesla right now. So we are going to get out some more. This is a really good play for me here on Tesla. And again, it's just about like we took hits trying to find this level. So that's why it's like, it's easy to look at the trade that you're in, but also it's the process, right? And it's like trying to clean up some of this stuff here because we went long against the 50 period and got out. So that was a quick little, that's 348. Like that's probably about $1. That's not a buck hit. What am I talking about? That's probably 50 cents there. And something similar right here where we went long at 347.50, then we got 347.30, then we got out at 346. So that's again another 50 cents. So both of these 50 cent hits combined, you know, we're just making it back now. Like because we're in the money at $1.30, we're just kind of making back what we'd okay, well now it's trying to go upside. There's another fill at 50, but we're trying to make back what we had sort of done the damage there. So again, it just goes to show, wait, but like I have notes all over the place. This is mini me sticky note. I should give this to Joe. But it's just about like trying to make notes about where pullbacks may be, what the levels look like on a chart, what indicators you want to play around with, right? And for me, I always play with 50 period moving average and then the 200. Like when VWAP is this far away, by the way, there we go, Tesla. Like if VWAP is this far away, I know I'm not getting that. So to sit here and talk about that with you guys is fine, but it's not realistic. It's not going to be a trade that I'm going to enter. So I'm going to try to make a play, and we used the 50 period, didn't work. We did find it with the 200, which is why preaching, there we go. Oh, what? Okay, I was just going to say, I was offering 73. There we go, another out right there. $1.80 now in the money, but it's about the discipline, and then once you have the plan, all in. You know, and try to go for it. This is not an all-in trade for me, but we will still go a little longer, I think, if we break through 350, and that'll be a $3 winner, right? So now we have it on board right here. So we'll get something out if it gets near that 350 again, which what the hell am I even talking about? It's right here right now. I'm gonna take it another piece right here. I might as well just keep doing this. Like we're $1.20 away from the high of the day when the futures are just chilling. What's gonna happen if the market actually goes here? We have Nvidia $3, the Qs is $1, and Hood is actually coming back in a little bit for me. So yeah, man, everything turned up today in the right way. So it's been good here. Let's just see how we close. I'm gonna get some more bids out on Robinhood and then just close that because I wanna be bullish there into the, there we go, we just punched some 43s. I wanna be bullish here into the end of the day. Let's just see if the NASDAQ can hold.
Yeah, and I don't disagree with Save Man Woman Peace, great name. The real wall is 360. When you're day trading, the wall right now is $350. But I agree with you 100%. On the daily chart, 360 is the next decision point. I'm even trying to figure out what I want to do with my recent buys in Tesla. Because I've been like long-term holding Tesla for a while, but I did recently buy it at 220, 222, and 22 cents. Right, 222.22. I said it right already. And I'm thinking about where I want to get the next leg out of that because that was more like swingish, and I did do it in my TFSA. Micron reverted trend here, so I was waiting for it to revert the trend line. All it did is break trend by closing above. I redrew it pretty poorly, but it held the prior low right at the place where it bounced in the pre-market and looking for a push into 95 here on Micron. So it looks pretty strong. I don't know if Tesla wants to break it right now, but it is absolutely trying. Are you
going to take the 350 break? Or is it too late? I just want to know
when it pulls back to 47, I cancel. When it's $2 away, I cancel my order.
Yeah.
Now that it's back, if it gets above 49, I'm going to put the order back in. It's almost too late, but it's not quite. It's only 320. So it's like it's, you know, if it's 340, I'm not a huge fan of it. What I don't want a breakout trade to go into is go into the imbalance with it when it better be deep in the money if you're going into the imbalance with it. I don't see. Someone just put in coin. I just saw coin in the chat, and for some reason, I just typed it in. It's like muscle, whatever. I saw it, and I'm like, yeah, coin's probably breaking the high. No, it's not doing anything. Micron's starting to pull back a little bit, but it's such a distinct trend reversal. And look at the volume candle here. This is the biggest volume candle since the opening range. And that's the bottoming tail. It's not even a bottoming tail, it's the bounce candle. So I want to see it go and test 95 to 95 and a quarter. I think it has enough room to get there for sure. Yeah, Tesla, it still might go on Tesla. Like it broke trend, it ended up actually settling down, but if I leave in the trend line from VWAP, now it's holding underneath. Like normally, I'd think that's short if you hold underneath the prior trend line, but I don't want to short Tesla, so I'm not going to do it. I think it's distinctly different when you have gravity to a level like 350, so I'm not going to play with it. Hertz Scrambler, Lily is going
Sharif's
down.
Mustache.
Sharif's Mustache is in the chat?
Yeah, Sharif's Mustache loves me.
I love Sharif.
What's up?
Sharif's mom was in the chat as well this morning.
I don't want to make any comments about Sharif's mom in case he's listening. You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm just.
But I'll say what's up to
good
Sharif's
people.
of course.
Good people.
But Sharif's Mustache said they loved me, so I love you too, Sharif's Mustache. Got to get trimmed up a little bit over there. So Big Bear AI, I just went over to because I was like, oh, we're cruising, but you know what? I was at 386. But I was on a gateway of like ARCA, was on ARCA, so it needs to break for me to get the fill. I should have been on a paid gateway where I pay to get the fill, and so I switched over to that. I actually went to 385 right now because I don't know if it's going to move, and we should have. I was here to get out and got missed. So I saw someone in the chat say something about what's the plan with Big Bear AI, and I was like, yeah, let me go review that, but. It did come up to my level. I was like, why didn't we get hit? And I looked over ARCA. So yeah, about that. All right, so a couple more outs. We have, we have a third, actually exactly a third left for this Tesla trade. So could still wind up not being a great one here for TSLA as the market's coming in. We've seen this market fall down a couple times here. I'm gonna get something else out right there at 55, so we do that. It's only for 50 cents. But again, like, we're gonna wait to see if it wants to have a late day run. I'm not going to average back in. Well, I do have another bid down here near 346, but that's really close. And then if it's literally right down here, 346.50, if it does break 346, then we're going to get out, because then we are officially under, and then the next stop for me, if I was being responsible, which we're trying to do, would be 344. So I'm not going to hold a 347 down to 344. So that's just too much disaster, because then I'll get punched out. I'll punch myself out and then think like, what have I done? VWAP is supposed to hold, and then it does, and then I get upset. So staying disciplined is definitely a good way of staying out of trouble. And then that way it's, and I've heard you say this before many times, obviously, is once you have a strategy, then you can repeat that strategy. And if I break it today,
ideally,
and then, well, no, you can always repeat it. It's just a matter of will it keep working? I mean, we talk about that every day. Find something that works for you, and then try to repeat it, and then just do it on more shares.
And until it stops working.
Right, and then once it stops, and it will stop working, you'll have bad days. I mean, I talk about that all the time as well. And some days, you'll get hit on something that doesn't work, and you wonder, what have you done to your
what have I done to myself?
Yeah.
Oh, I've done that a million times. Ask Walgreens. Anish, tell me what you see on Oklo, because I would love for this stock to be moving. And maybe you see, the funny thing is, some people are talking about swing trades oftentimes, and I get it. Oklo just reported and broke out. I think we'll be looking at this one tomorrow, no questions asked. But this afternoon, whatever is going on in the market right now, this isn't even moving, like up or down. We've just dropped about, well, the ES doesn't matter. Like, the NASDAQ just dropped through VWAP for a little bit there and dropped like 40 points. This isn't even going anywhere. The good news, however, is you're taking a second leg up on Micron, which does now, I can now say it's starting to make a bit of a trend up. That said, with the imbalances looming in, I do want to see what happens at 95.25. That's going to be a big wall. And remember, Micron's got a few things going on here. A close above the 200 period moving average for a second day in a row. Like, it's done it before and failed, but it's still a pretty good sign for a potential breakout coming on the stock, which it really needs one, because it's been getting beaten up, despite the fact it's up 50-something% from the highs. But that would need to close above, it's about 95.15. And I use an SMA, and that's an SMA on the daily chart. So I want to hold in a 95.25. This is exactly the kind of level I can see getting rinsed. But if it breaks trend, I'm jumping out. To me, trend in, trend out, and scalp trading. Like, all of the best trades today for me have been exactly that same thing. I'm going to clean up some stop orders. I never got into AMD this afternoon, so I just canceled the stop order I had in case I got in. So hold the trend line and see if we can't get into that 95.25 over here on MU. Richard is asking about Rigetti. Yeah, what about Rigetti? Pulling into the volume weighted average price. It's a little bit late. We're almost at 330 here. There might be one last salvo. I think you had to be in it when it dipped into here. Like, shout out to anybody that just before we came on actually caught Rigetti. I wasn't trading at any point today, so it wasn't on my radar as much as it should have been, given the amount of strength that it had. But I think you need to already be in this. I don't want to touch this late. I just want to hold on to Micron, see if it can go really close to just giving up on that Tesla potential breakout. Still some time for it to get going, but I took my shot buying into the trend, and I think it was right to get out of it. At this point, it's running out of time to make a 350 break. And if you could hold into the aftermarket, if you're looking for like an overnight play, maybe you can still consider a breakout trade. But when you're not holding it overnight, like, you want it to look very, very specific when it comes to a late day breakout trade. I'm just not seeing it over there on Tesla. I wanted to get to this stock, even though I promise you I'm not going to trade it, because a few people have. As we get later in the day, this RYET that keeps on moving, as you can tell by the day that it's had, this is super risky to trade late. And if it halts in the last 10 minutes, you're going to get caught into the aftermarket with this thing. And it's already halted. I'm not going to count how many times. It's halted probably 10 times today. And if you get caught at the end of the day, Like this is exactly the kind of thing that can aftermarket be up $5, down $5, and it's not very, very liquid. So I see it. I know people have been talking about it. Not something that we would ever trade here. I can say that with pretty decent confidence, especially in the afternoon. The only place that you'd be trading this is if you can get a breakdown early in the day when it's going down, or you can catch some kind of, like a halt up, the first halt up. Yeah, that's a trade that I might have. Maybe we'd take trades like that, where you take the first halt up and you're risking 50, 60 cents and the stock is down $12. But buying it at 10 when the low is at 3, no. No, thank you. Big no, thank you.
Yeah. Someone asked about Merck.
Still getting Mercked?
Still getting it. Still getting Mercked again here. Okay. So I just got out some more Nvidia. We get this bump up here. It's 3:30. So thank you everybody for being here with us today. Let me check on what our like situation is showing right now. Make sure you do hit that like and that subscribe. Play. There it is. Okay, what's up? I have it on very bad quality. 400. Okay, not great. 6,400 of you watching. Do us a favor. Hit that like. Hit that subscribe. Do all of that. There it is. Hit that. Make that say subscribed and turn this little thing. On my screen, it's black. I don't know what it is on mobile. I think maybe it goes red or blue. Hit the like button, please, and thank you. I think it's been a great show here today, and the more the merrier. Help YouTube promote us. And again, a completely free show for you here, talking all trades and hopefully showing some strategies and talking about different, why is XYZ? Anyways, hit the like button. Thank you so much for everybody. Now we're up to 650. That was quick, man. 50% increase just like that. So we thank everybody for that. All right, XYZ, yeah, back to the 200 period MA right there. So not a big surprise what we're seeing right here, but there it is, XYZ downside for a minute. It's been a pretty bad stock for a while there. And of course, we're talking about Block and Old Square. But nice move there. They did not have a great earnings, but like, this is what I don't understand. Like, if things were so bad on their earnings call, well,
It's only going up.
now, you know, like, what up with that? So, wow, okay, P&L time. Here we go, man. If you're here to make some money, then let's get on that Tesla chain. Choo-choo, all the way to the upside right now. I'm waiting at 90s. I'm waiting at 90s. I'm going to punch out some at 70s right there. Okay, now I'm going to cancel my 90. We get 75 there. All right, there it goes, man. Yes, sir. That's a good move. $2 right there. Well, not $2. Well, yeah. Almost $1.80 on that upside move there for Tesla. Didn't even realize what was happening right there until we did see the net start to change. So there's a good move. Nice upside play there for it on Tesla. So there we go. Upside there for TSLA. Other than that, man, BBAI goes again to 84 and stops. Maybe we get a late day push. What did BBAI do yesterday? What time is it, 3:30? What did it do yesterday near the end of the day? So this is today. Thank you, Big Bear, 440. Nice to see that. Okay, maybe I shouldn't look what it did yesterday at the close. Close at the lows right there of the afternoon. And then it just gapped up to here this morning with monster volume and then the fade. And again, this is another team, another stock that missed on their earnings, came right back in. We rebought down here. I think it was 311s. I mean, we talked about it on the show because I bought at 4 and at 5 and at 4 and then again at 3. So my average price is north of this. I thought to be exact, we looked at it was like 412, something like that. So we're getting close here on Big Bear to do something. Yeah, maybe I have to buy up then to make it 420.
You need to buy however many shares it takes to make your average price 420 and then hold it forever.
Then I have to buy above it though, is what I'm saying. Right?
You can't do that. Okay.
Because I'm already lower than 420.
So you literally can't.
Yeah, I think if I bought like some 440s, maybe I could get it into that level, which would be fun.
Or you could swipe the book all the way up.
Right, and never ever trade based on, unless you're eToro, like opens up at 69, 69, down with that.
That was somebody, honestly.
I want eToro to go down lower.
I promise you somebody had a hand in that. They're like, because you know the market makers are like,
yeah, it just doesn't make sense.
It's opening somewhere around 69.5, underneath $70. Oh, I can do this. Yeah, this is what we're gonna do. Just because all they got to do is just find an order here or find an order there, and it's good to go. Very quickly here, trend in, trend out. So Micron broke the trend down. I'm gonna punch out. Why even have the stop order? when I can just punch out when I see it manually break that 95. So it trended down into what was the low of technically like the low of the open market, but also the pre-market bottom on Micron. Does a nice, and the best thing about it, there was no bottoming tail candle. No bottoming tail candle down there to signal to you that it was going to be the move. But what it did do is put in the first green candle, and it's hard to see, but break the close of the prior bar green candle on that trend break. And then then there was a huge volume spike right after, but then it broke the trend back on 95. So my rule, get out. That's the trade. It could still go. There's always a chance that it wants to go further, but remember, Micron is a dog today because of their guide. A lot of dogs in the chip space, including this one, which, you know, the good news for Intel, you're even with this really bad day today, it's still holding above the like the Liberation Day resistance, which is $21.50. And it bounced right off it. I wish I had spotted this. So the Liberation Day top, whatever, I guess that's what we're calling it, it fills the gap right into it, and then that's where the low comes on Intel. As long as it holds this level, I think it's still okay. If it loses it, then you go back to buying it 19 to 20, because that's been the other spot that you want to pick the stock. You can see it. Like, I'm not telling you anything that you can't see. Stock drops underneath $20, you buy it into 19.5, and it's just been working. But if it loses to 21.5, I think you're waiting for that on INTC. So for now, Micron wins, but it is a dog today, no questions asked, and in doing the same thing that it cannot seem to stop doing, losing that 200-period moving average. The day that it, like I said, the day that it consolidates above like this and then breaks a high above the 200-period moving average is the day to punch swing long. And I've been waiting for a setup to punch swing long in this since it stopped holding that 85 zone, which is back, by the way.
So we just got some more out of Tesla when it broke through 348 again to the downside. Like, it's still $1. You know, we'll wait for it now. But taking some risk off right there on Tesla. I am ready for it. Let's run east. I just want to see what Google's at 165 right now. It's high of the day, 167. And an easy way to chart all this is with eSignal. So make sure you do scan that QR code below right there. Get eSignal for 1 month free. We love eSignal around here. And why? Because of these scanners, in my opinion, and because of the fact that you can chart any market you so choose. It's an entitlement-based system, so you can go in there, tell them which markets you want, find out how much that's going to cost, add it to your charts on a monthly fee, and you can trade any of, you know, the Hang Seng market or OTC market, any kind of futures pit, anything like that, currencies, data for over 500 symbols at once. Like, that's the kind of screeners and scanners that we're talking about. Plus curated lists, the hot lists that we talk about, trade rate. This is what we're going to show right here, almost as if I've done this before. You know, you get it. Look at this, 12-month returns, 52-week highs, all of those values that are right there. We're showing them right here. NYSE, NASDAQ, you can filter it by exchange, anything like that. It's eSignal. Join the powerful platform today for free on Trader TV Live. Just make sure you scan that QR code, register, give it a shot, let us know if you like it. I mean, I'm using it literally all the time. I mean, here's the hot list right here. Sometimes you'll see me looking up and down what's going off. Nvidia, Rigetti's a top trade today. There's Palantir also highlighting to me that it was a 52-week high, just like XLV, the healthcare index, was a 52-week low today. And you can sort of put any, I just have these levels there, but you can expand it and add, you know, any columns you want to this, add columns, you know, some of the favorites that we might have had are right into here, and then you could just start to downtick. Here's all those ones that they were showing, 12-month, 3-month returns, 7-day yield, like things that we're just at A's right now. Average maturity, I guess if you're talking about options, things like that, the bid, the beta, the base code, I don't even know what half these things mean, but we're only at B right now. So all of this block trading I just saw, so look at this, 3 different, like all these different scanners, and then explanation of what they mean. So there it is, total volume of block trades between 10,000 and 50,000 shares. So that's this one, right? The next one would be something else, higher levels. So it's eSignal. I'm glad to show you all of this. Their platform is very, very expansive, and you can use any of the tools at your own discretion. Definitely something that we use around here. I thought Tesla was just ripping there, and it's not. Now it's coming back in. So here we go, getting ready to get stopped out on a break of 346. But we already got more out, man. We were at, I don't remember the percentages we were at there. I thought we were at we're already out of 2/3, a third left. Got more out. And now that I look down, we have about 20% left of this trade and looking to get a little bit longer here. But the futures are going down. Watch out for 346 break. There we go. We take a 30 fill. Now we'll wait. This is worth, okay, here it comes in. Our stop order is already in as long as it is, and it didn't change on me. No, I don't. It must have got canceled. Oh, no, it's still there. Okay, so watch out here. There it goes, breaking. I'm going to give it a little bit of room, not exactly 346, but it looks like it'll be, I'll just slap a fail on it right now because we'll give this back. I mean, now we'll lose that 50 to 60 cents, it looks like possibly here on Tesla. So again, worth the risk. This is the problem with reloading the same amounts. We didn't reload the same amount, reloaded half. So I won't be happy with it. We'll give it back because we just had a huge move in Tesla and we didn't take it all out. I was thinking 350. Sometimes you think wrong. And it looks like we do that right here with Tesla, giving some back here. Late day move. Maybe there's a sell imbalance and we're just trying to figure this all out. But there it is. It just breaks 80. That was my out. So now it probably will rip up. But we are now out of Tesla for fail. We already slapped the fail. That's a 70-cent loss there on Tesla to end the day. So not a great move there at the end, but it's fine. I mean, those are the trades we're looking for. Oh my God, and then it goes right back up. See, this is where I normally buy it back, but
it's always because like the market just came back in.
I might as well buy the market.
Got out of Micron and it's going higher. Like you just never know.
One more.
Dan McIsaac, yeah, UNH. I'll get there in a second. New low a day for UNH. It's an absolute. It's nasty. Sometimes you think wrong. Shut up to humbleness. It happens all the time. I don't care who you are. Like you'll make great decisions, you'll make bad decisions. You just have to like evaluate it. Did you stick to your rule? Is the rule a good one or a bad one? How does it serve you in the long run? So you just try to stick to that because frustrating when it continues to go higher. UNH, we have 10 minutes to go till the imbalances come out here, and my goodness, like it was up today. Like this was the day that UNH was supposedly holding the bid. I wanted to go to my 15-minute. And now, so I wanted to show here that yes, it's breaking the low, but it's right at or just barely, never mind, it literally just broke yesterday's low as well. So not only is it continuing that trend despite gapping up, it cannot hold a level for more than a day or two. That's it. And until that happens, forget about it on this stock. It's about as nasty as it gets. There's going to be a great opportunity on UNH. I think everybody, you've been looking at charts long enough, you know that's true, but my goodness, that stock is in trouble. Why not just short it every single day is what I'm asking myself, but I don't. But I'm now looking at Micron and getting that, why did we get out? It's now screaming to the upside into VWAP.
ooh,
Who knew? It was a good turn, and then it looked like it was running out of steam at 95, and it looks like it's want to continue going. Now all of a sudden you are closing above the 200 period moving average, which if it does, knock on wood here, I think that's going to be a good sign for this bad boy. And Roger, if you're referring to Meta doing this a few years ago, what UNH is doing, yeah, Meta had that drop of like 300 to 100, but I feel that was a little bit different from what UNH is doing because Meta did that in the context of a huge, like all of tech was dropping that way. UNH is doing this on its own. That's so different from anything that happened to Meta. And I guess I'd have to show a weekly chart of Meta to even to go back that far. So if that's what you were referring to, which I could be wrong, maybe you weren't comparing the two, but Meta did have that drop. Okay, well, from here it was like 300 something, all the way down to under $100. But the context of what happened to the market at that time was totally different, right? Like we had a huge drop in the NASDAQ in that moment, bigger than the COVID pullback. So UNH is just a different beast because it's doing this in a strong market, fortunately.
yeah. I mean, a way you can play UNH with a little bit less risk. Of course, you could buy this the Dow Jones. So you could buy the DIA, which is the diamonds, and UNH is obviously a big, huge contributor to this. We talked about it yesterday. It was number one, and then it fell down in. So again, the NASDAQ still up today, up 0.3, right? The ES I'm going to assume is up, but I'm going to double check that. But yeah, the Dow down. So if you did think that there's been some points taken out of this, which there definitely has because of UNH, it is a way to maybe get back into it without the direct exposure, but then you're not going to get the upside. So yeah, there's options and there's a whole bunch of different ways to do that on UNH, right? Microsoft BABA. We can have a quick look at Alibaba here quickly into the close just to see, because again, reporting tomorrow morning, China's been strong, right? I mean, we've definitely looked at that as more and more deal talk starts to hit the wires. We could see what winds up happening here with Alibaba into the end of the day, into their earnings report. But it just looks toppy to me. Like we only spent maybe 2 weeks or so above this 140 area. And even when it was up here, like look at the chop. So it really only spent above 140, like 4 days, like 1, maybe 2 there, 3, 4. If we throw this big guy there, maybe 5 or 6. So we didn't spend that many days over that 140 level. So I still think that there's time here on your side for that move to happen. But with earnings tomorrow, this is your last chance. You're gonna have to make a decision. And I think that if you're long Alibaba into earnings, it's not a bad trim spot, because even if you get to 140, the high there, 147, and that's going to take a big number, right? So if you get it, great, and it should pop. But really, Alibaba, I mean, I feel like they got that bump on DeepSeek. So they're all over that, and that was kind of, I thought, what this was. And then there was the pullback, and so I don't know what this is. And I guess this is just a tariff relief, and the market right now, I feel like, is baked in a lot of that. So outside of a Chinese move or deal with the tariffs or something like that, more positive discussions, I don't know if Alibaba has the juice to get back to the upside. I'm assuming it's going to be like a 10% implied move or so, which probably gets us into that area. So yeah, I don't know the answer to that question, but all right, maybe Adara does. What's up, Adara?
One question here. If you're wondering what the performance is under a variety of the different CEOs that have served for UNH, I have this infographic. So this actually goes back to its IPO. Founder Richard Burke served as the company's CEO, of course, for the first handful of years. Then there was a period, there's a lot of things that are interesting about this that I discovered I wasn't expecting. One of them is the fact that the company didn't have a CEO from 1988 to 1991. Instead, William McGuire, who would eventually be appointed in February of 1991, served in a variety of executive roles. Then we have Stephen J. Hemsley, who's set to take over again upcoming. He's been appointed. He served for about 11 years. David S. Wishman replaced him. And then last but not least, Sir Andrew Whitty, who just resigned yesterday and led to a massive drop in the stock. Now, I said there were a couple interesting things. One of course, being the fact that there wasn't a CEO as far as I can tell, and I did a pretty deep dive into this. But the other thing is the first two CEOs you see here, founder Richard Burke and William W. McGuire, they both resigned amid some pretty intense corporate controversy. So Richard Burke had some conflict of interest issues with regards to his role at UNH and also at a company called PHP. William W. McGuire, meanwhile, was implicated in a stock options backdating scandal. He eventually had to settle with the SEC and, of course, resigned from the company as a result. So here is this look here. If you're curious how the company performed under a variety of different CEOs. I want to mention, too, with regards to Stephen J. Hemsley, that'll be the new CEO. Stock went up 300% during his tenure, so not a bad look for Hemsley, who is set to take over at some point. I guess we'll find out pretty soon. Back to you. Make sure to like and subscribe.
Yeah, and when Hemsley gets in there, just know that the game
is about to change.
Is about to change for UNH, because it's unfortunately the new CEO isn't Hunter Hearst Helmsley. Right. Although I think he'd be a fantastic. No, I'm just joking. We missed a super chat, T-Money, so the context is lost on me for this one. 4 letters, 1 word, loss. LOSS.
Oh, is that a stock?
No, it's not. I mean, well, I think you're gonna win some and you're gonna lose some. I don't know what, because this was a while back that you put that in there. I'm just going to go back to the actual live
Maybe
chat.
Maybe she could mention what it was for.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll mention it a little bit more. I talk and something goes down more. Jason Trade says AEW is greater than the WWE. I'll let Sean opine on that because, I've really only looked at 2 leagues, WWE and WCW, the only ones that I've ever been in. So I'm going to look back. Tesla's not going to get to view up. It's also 348, so the imbalances are coming in just a couple of minutes. Don't forget, everybody. I know it gets lost with the market moving around. On Friday, there's a couple of names going into the index, right? So don't forget about Coinbase. As of Monday trading, which means Friday close, you're going to get Coinbase. And now I'm already forgetting the other name because Coinbase is such a, it's Shopify. There you go. I mean, Coinbase is so big, it's like, make Shopify not matter as much. So the early look for the imbalances didn't have a whole lot, but this is new. ADT, 6 million to the sell
Go
side.
Tesla.
In 1 minute, we'll see what that comes out as, but that's relatively large. So I'm going to have that one up.
Yeah, look, I mean, I went to Open Door, which was the AEW pay-per-view here at Scotiabank Arena. It was fantastic.
Nice.
Will Ospreay, I mean, there's so many, John Moxley, there's so many great wrestlers that are in AEW, and I think the talent probably just for straight wrestling is probably better in AEW if you're a true wrestling fan. But obviously the storylines and everything like that in WWE with the more... You know, I mean, more money and Netflix and all those deals.
Just like Cena.
Yeah, John Cena, he'll be gone
I know,
soon.
that's the problem.
But, yeah, so Will Ospreay might be one of the best wrestlers in the world, yeah. Okay, so you guys let me know if you guys know that. But yeah, John Moxley also a stud as well over there. So shout out to my wrestling heads that are around. I know you're here. There it is right now. Let's go, man. It's a big bang trade. Okay, now we're going, Neil. Now it's $1.50 in the money. The Tesla imbalances, they must all be out. I didn't even...
NVIDIA's 5.5 million to the buy side.
Oh, boy, we're running
Apple
on that.
2.7, Amazon 1.7, Pfizer... Yeah, okay, Pfizer.
Your boy likes that.
Rivian's a sell of 1 million, but Microsoft 1 million. So it's all buy side with the exception of Rivian. It's going to be billions when we get the 2.9 billion to buy. NASDAQ 1.7 billion, Dow 1 billion, Mag 7 alone 1.2 billion to said buy side.
Booyaka. Yeah, thanks, Neil. That was a good one right there as we take it big time. Oh, we didn't take advantage of the move up, though, in the TQQs. I thought I got filled up there, but I got filled on Nvidia. Let me punch it. Okay, well, there we go. We just get it now at 20s, or at 19s. Good move there for the TQs. Out more right there. Double outs, actually. I hit the key twice. That's why I stumbled a little bit there because I was like, oh my God, I got to make sure I get out. So we did. Very, very small piece left on that one. And there it is again. Awesome.
Awesome.
What's up, Valeria?
Oh my God. Oh my.
Right there. Shout out to Miss V, the wonderful Miss V. Hope you are doing well. One of the OGs. There, if anybody remembers Miss V, absolutely fantastic. Oh, you know what? Here, let me find a really, really old school picture here on Instagram because I know we have, I have a bunch posted. We did one, it was me, it was all of us. I don't think Sharif or anybody was here. Oh, this might be, that's not wrestling. I was gonna say it might be an AEW thing. Here, this is gonna be annoying. I have to find it. There's so many freaking sticky notes on here now. I gotta get some of those down. But anyways, there's a picture. Maybe I can search for it. A really old one with Miss V, and we were doing the, I thought it was St. Patrick's Day maybe, or it might have been the 100K. I don't know, it's a really fun picture. But anyways, we'll go back on that one.
Everyone out there, don't forget, when we get massive imbalances, in this case buy imbalances, before 355 or at 355 is usually a major pairing event. So some of these numbers are very likely to change big. Nvidia, the one I'd be looking at here, if that pairs off big before 55.
I don't want anyone to say I'm not a Bills fan here. You know, this is Neil and I here at the playoffs.
First of all,
like here, I mean, this is it here, right here.
All of our buddies
Raptors
from high school were at that game or at the bar, and only 2 of us were wearing Bills jerseys. We were there to watch the Bills.
Our friends are all frauds.
They're fraudulent fans.
But they're just exactly.
No, we would go down. The whole group of us would go down to Bills games all the time, and the only ones that are going to show up in Bills jerseys to go watch. And I know we're at a nice place downtown, but I'm wearing my jersey if I'm watching the Bills game.
Bunch of fraudulent
Lee Evans
characters over there. Mine is.
I rep a J.P. Lossman jersey if I had no other choice.
Dude, mine was I don't even remember.
Lawyer Malloy.
Lawyer Malloy. Like,
come on, son. You think I'm gonna forget that?
He then went Patriots.
Yo, Lawyer Malloy.
Okay, yeah.
I don't remember.
That's pretty
Eric
legit.
Mold's up in here.
I'm still going on in this. Look at this. This is back when. Oh, what's up? Oh shoot, there's Adam DeLuz. I just saw Adam DeLuz there. Oh no. Oh, there's Randy. Here it is. This is what I was looking for. First of all, we sponsored a hole there at Bay Street. forget what that was, actually, so I shouldn't say what it is. Here's Neil and I back in the day when we used to stand in front of green screens.
I hated that.
Like, that's back in the day, standing in front of green screens. Oh, don't, I can't look at this. Okay, there's my kids going, oh, there's us in baseball. Come on, I mean, there's Adam. What's up, Adam DeLuz? There he is right there. All right, I'm still going to find that Miss V thing, but we got to keep trading. All right, now we are now not $1. The more we talk about this, what's up, Ozan? Tesla right now. Happy, sad about the bat being the wrong size, happy about the Tesla trade. There it goes, man, 348 and change, $2. Oh yeah, Yeet, yeah, what's up, WWE, yeah, Jay Uso, thanks for that as well. That was good, man. WrestleMania day 1 was much better than day 2. That's Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns. Oh, look, here's a really old one when Mr. Wonderful was in the building with us as well. Make sure you do go over to Instagram to find all of this. I promise you I'll find it. Here it is, man. Now $250 now in the money. That's worth 1, 2, 3 bangs right now for Tesla to end the day. Congratulations to anybody that has this one with us. Patience does pay here with Tesla. And then one more, man. Here's my Starbies forever right now. We go into Starbies, collect that. Shout out to my Packer Nation as well. What's up to my beautiful wife? All right, what's up, Adara?
This part of the show is brought to you by Trade the Pool. Every trader knows that if you want to grow, you have to risk more. At least that's how it used to be. Trade the Pool's changing that. You pay a one-time evaluation fee starting at $47. That is your total risk. And you get a real shot at trading with up to $200,000 in company capital. You don't need a large deposit. You don't need years of experience. This is a limited risk trading platform built for any trader who wants to grow without putting everything on the line. Just a small skin in the game, and you're trading with real capital. Scan Trade the Pool's QR code to get 10% off and start your journey. Back to you.
So Nvidia still a buy, but it's 1.4 million. That's actually still a buy. Well, the move is the move on it. So if we're only able to get what we get, we won't be upset. That's a Sharifism. But it was 5-point-something million to the buy side. It did pair off decently, but that wasn't much of a move there. I'll have to zoom in so you can see. Like, it barely did anything. It came back underneath 35. It maybe went like 15 cents in the money and right back to the upside. Still a buy and balance, so it's just a quick scalp trade. I think if it had flipped to a sell or like under 1 million shares, you probably get a deeper pushback. But yeah, nothing too big there that you're going to be able to glean. But sometimes that reversal trade is going to be a good one. Apple stayed a bid at 1.2, so it's a good sign to me that at the end of the day, when you have buy imbalances, because remember, the companies that do buybacks can't buy back in the last 10 minutes of the market. So you have different types of buyers that are buying.
Oh shoot, the market's almost over here. Oh,
that's right. I want to make sure everything's still set up there because we have Cisco earnings after market, but I want to make sure we're locked and loaded to review all the ridiculous action that we had here today because it was a wild, wild market. Everybody get your questions ready. Myself and Adara are going to be there for you guys and the aftermarket show. Just Cisco and ideally, please, CoreWeave, 7 o'clock has to be some kind of a stupid typo. We would love to be able to cover that one live because I think it's going to be a mover and a shaker. Ridiculous to report earnings at that time. Yeah. And a good thing we got out. Like, we got out just in the nick of time. See, if you're trading off the imbalance, the second it's still a buy imbalance over 1 million, just punch out. Very, very simple on NVDA. For a second there, I almost said AMD. All right, I'm going to get up to the desk in just a quick little second, make sure I have no orders out there and stop orders. All right. I don't want to have those triggering when I'm not here.
All right, good luck with the recap show. You got this.
Come on, CoreWeave.
I believe in you, Neil. You got this. All right, so we'll wait for CoreWeave. If you do believe in the TQs, well, then you're at the high of the day right now. Shout out to Marlon and everybody that was talking to me about this. There it is. I'm going to get out. I mean, we now only have 3 minutes to go. Plus, I want to do a stroll down memory lane with Instagram, so we're going to do that. There goes BBAI. Oh, boy. Money. Yeah, not really. But BBAI, nice play there. Upside, oops, it's a New York stock. Nice upside there on BBAI. I'm just going to cancel everything, offer it all out here, and see if we get 87s on Big Bear AI. Tesla, I'm just going to keep on getting some more and more out here. Maybe we rip at the end of the day as well. Robinhood, we might as well empty the clip. Oh, BBAI, you just went down, eh? Okay. I missed that, Phil. We're going to offer now here. Just show it back to you. We're going to offer 86s. Hopefully we wind up getting... Oh, did we just get that? Oh, there it is. All right, so there it is. BBAI, bang. Good trade, man. We didn't average in. We got shares. We actually got a decent position. So even though we only take 6 cents on it, Still a decent trade. There goes Tesla up into the end of the day. All right, we can keep this up. You can watch out for Tesla. That's the only position. Oh, I have Robinhood actually as well, so I'll have to get out of Robinhood right now. I'll just punch out. There we go. We punched out of that one. All right, look, I knew I was in trouble with my daughter, honestly, when we went to SneakerCon, and this is what was happening. So here she's like, I like those ones. That's nice. And then here's my dog. Oh, I got to show this to Joey Money. There's Belle right here. So that's our dog there. Cockapoo. Great dog. These are some of my favorite Air Jordans right there. I think Jordan 5s. There's my daughter when she was born. She was born 5 pounds, 5 ounces. So fitting in my hands right there as a baby, 5.5 weeks early. So a big shout out to her as well, representing High Park all of the time as we go. But lots of stuff happening. Here is, again, our wicked coffee machine. Here's Brendo, myself, outside of the TSX, and Randy. Oh, here's my dad and my brother when we were golfing one day. Oh, there's the Jordan 11s. These are some of my favorites as well. Someone sent me these Air Force Ones. I actually forget the individual's name. That's when she was playing T-ball. But here we go. Only 30 seconds. Oh, there it is. I found it. Here it is right here. So this is a big shout out. Brendo, Miss V, Neil, and myself. I knew it was a St. Patrick's Day. I knew I had her on there. There's Brendo, everybody. Shout out to everybody back there. The Trader TV Live team back in 164 weeks ago. So we'll mark down about 3 years on that one. With only 10 seconds left, thank you so much for your patience today. I hope you had a wicked time with us. Adara, now with only 4 seconds, this market and this day brought to you by Adara's red suit. Thank you so much for hitting that like and subscribe and that bell, Miss Adara. So going back over there, again, glad the red suit didn't hold today. NASDAQ up. They'll review all of this with you on the market recap show. ES flat on the day. NASDAQ bump in the night. Tesla, we're almost out. Nvidia rips up high side there at the end of the day. Why don't we just take an out maybe on this and punch out and then, get out of this one as there it goes. Out the end of that trade at the high of the day on Nvidia. All right, man, we're getting ready. It's CoreWeave time, man. That's going to be the one that we're getting ready for. I think it comes out immediately. Get ready for CoreWeave. But thank you so much for everything. Today, man. It was a great day. We had some great trades near the end. I hope that you enjoyed yourself. And we'll be back with us tomorrow for yet again a bigger and probably better show. I mean, every day we're trying to improve, so we'll get bigger and better. Thank you to Kevin O'Leary early today. Thank you to Rahim Alani from OCI. Thanks, Brendan, Sharif, Joe, Ramin, Andre, Fabian, Adara, Neil, and of course, Bears versus Bulls. Thank you to everybody for joining us. I'm Sean, and we are now done for the day. We're going to throw it back over to the recap show. Get them, Neil and Adara.
Much, Sean. Love the trip down memory lane. Man, it's been so much fun, and I'm glad we get to do more of it here today because, as Sean said, Adara's red did not tank the markets today. And I'm going to give a big shout out to, let's thank Tesla. Let's thank Nvidia. Let's thank Alphabet, even though we just recently sold some. Well, AMD gets a meh because it gapped up and then came back to the downside. But the market recap show is on. As I said, I really hope that we get CoreWeave in here. We're going to have Cisco earnings after the bell as well. They're about 4:05 IREN. CoreWeave says 7 o'clock. Don't at me. They're the ones that decided to list such a ridiculous time for their earnings, and we hope we'll get them at some reasonable point. But it was an unbelievable rally when you put in context what things looked like at certain points during the day. Because at the open, it was dip as usual. Like Tesla dropped almost $10 at the open before finally going. Yeah. I think you had AMD was gapping up on news. AMD had positive news and was going absolutely ham in the pre-market. The buyback on for $6 billion on AMD, and it was flying, and it trended down for most of the day. Micron had bad news. I mean, I hesitate to say bad news because they just did not update their guidance, and the market said that's not good. Fair. And so that tanked and recovered, and then trended down the rest of the day. So you had some pockets of weakness, but A, let's go Tesla. B, what about Alphabet? I'm along the long list of people that will tell you that concerned that other Mag 7 names are looking a little bit better I know the price is looking really good on Alphabet. PE is definitely fantastic. You get a lot with them, but they've been such a strong name with a big moat around them, like kind of like Apple. And you just feel like, I just have always felt that Meta and Amazon are getting stronger. Well, it's a post-earnings almost breakout here now for Alphabet, 3.5% today in a market where a lot of the Mag 7 weren't that clearly trending and strong to the upside. And Adara, next time you wear red, nobody can say anything.
No,
right?
they can't. This is the third time now I've worn this suit and we haven't closed red. So you guys, they were all consecutive. So maybe the Adara indicator is a little bit off. That being said, yesterday I wore green and we were green, but you know, nothing is perfect, and I find maybe an increased volatility, the Adara indicator becomes less reliable. Who knows? It's not scientific. It is just what it is, and it is, you know what I mean? It's just one of those arbitrary things, like the Obi's fruit salad indicator, which was even more arbitrary and I think worked less. So, you know, we all have little coping mechanisms, ways that we get through the day, and yeah, we got through the day, regardless of what color suit I was wearing. So I will continue to wear whatever color I choose.
Well, I can tell you right now, those looking at CoreWeave, which, by the way, ended the day up 7% at an all-time high, they're all green today. We don't know exactly when they will report. It is going to be tonight. We might not be in the aftermarket show, but it is worth covering it. Anytime IPOs settle down, and I know it's early in the game for CoreWeave, historically, this is a really bullish setup. And anyone that's been around long enough knows that when whatever the initial high you make after an IPO comes out, and then you get that pullback, right? It makes the first high, all the exuberance, there's that cooling off phase, and then when it reclaims the prior high and closes above, it's usually a very incredible setup. It happens to be coming when we're going to get their earnings, so clearly you're going to need to have some numbers back this one up. But it looks incredibly bullish. We saw it happen with Reddit,
Cisco
although unfortunately it didn't do very good today. But Cisco is now out, so we can pop over to them. Everyone keeps saying that the new Nvidia was going to be the new Cisco. Well, hopefully Cisco can do something and be the old Cisco for a hot minute. Initially to the upside here, bit of a legacy name, not going to move like the rest of the big cap tech that we're used to, but a nice little pop here for Cisco.
It's not a bad move here, especially with that slightly higher low and consolidation we kind of made at the end of the day. Cisco, I always want to clarify the numbers that I see as estimates are not always the ones the street's going to run with. But I'll give you that regard. I always like to just give a little disclaimer. So I'm seeing revenue estimate of $14.05 billion. They reported revenue of $14.1 billion. So sounds like a little bit higher than estimates. Increase of 11% year over year. GAAP earnings of 62 cents per share, non-GAAP of 96 cents per share. If we go with the non-GAAP, that looks like a beat because I was seeing estimates of 92 cents per share. So we're gonna have to wait and see what they go by. GAAP EPS 35% year over year increase, non-GAAP 9% year over year increase. They're guiding Q4 revenue between so I guess they're Q3 right now. They just reported. They're guiding Q4 revenue between 14.5 and 14.7 billion, and they're guiding fiscal 2025. They still have fiscal 2025 guidance. That's always a good sign. Guiding 56.5 to $56.7 billion for that fiscal 2025 revenue. Not seeing how that compares to estimates, but the street seems to receive it well either way.
CoreWeave is apparently
reporting
fine.
early. Let's find out.
CoreWeave, that's what we wanted to see. And it's breaking. Well, it was breaking out a second ago. We just hit 73 just now. Now pulling back a little bit here. We got the numbers now. Hopefully a massive beat because to the upside on CoreWeave, almost double digits.
It's a crazy beat here on CoreWeave. So they reported sales of $981.63 million, estimates of $859.77 million. I don't have to tell you guys that's a beat. That's clearly a beat. GAAP losses of $1.49 per share. Now, based on my estimates, I was seeing 18 cents per share expected loss. So if that's accurate, this is pretty massive in terms of losses. But this is its first public report. That, honestly, that crazy sales beat might be enough to keep them safe because that is a massive sales beat.
You just want growth. You just want growth, everybody. And look, I just saw someone in the chat say that CoreWeave is bipolar. Someone said in the chat CoreWeave has no liquidity. Trading in the aftermarket on earnings actively, like you would day trade during the day, is already dangerous enough. Doing it on a name like CoreWeave, which is already not that liquid, is another level of danger, right? So it is pulling back in here. I can tell you it's going to be crazy wick action if it breaks any key levels. Like when it got back through 70, you were pretty much at 68.5 in the blink of an eye there. You're still, just remember, it had a big day today. It's still closing above that post-IPO top. That's 64.5. So as long as it holds on to that move, that's bullish. historically, this has been a very good setup for IPOs, especially in the tech space. When you see it happen, it usually looks very, very good. So shout out to CoreWeave here. But at the end of the day, the whipsaw action is real. The fail break of 70 is real. It goes right into 65. Maybe that's something to watch for tomorrow. Remember, we just showed the daily chart. That prior high is right underneath the 65 level, so that's where you want to see the buyers come in. I know this is the level we'll be keying on tomorrow morning. So shout out to them. You knew we're 7 o'clock. No one's trying to report at 7 o'clock. I mean, come on. You report at 7 o'clock if you're trying to hide something, and it seems like CoreWeave is not. Just out of sympathy, always want to have a look-see to see what Nvidia is doing here. Obviously, CoreWeave makes a business of selling the 1800s.
Cisco.
And let's see what happens. But there was a little spike on sympathy for Nvidia to the highs, but nothing too crazy happening. It's just holding the top of the range. The story is CoreWeave. And of course, we have guidance now on Cisco.
Yeah, we had it earlier, but now I have like estimates too.
And we have the numbers, and it's holding up very well. So good for Cisco, up 3.5%.
Yeah, I mentioned earlier, I didn't quite know the guidance compared to estimates, but I assumed it was good because of how the stock was reacting. They actually raised their fiscal 2025 guidance across the board, so I want to start with that. 2025 adjusted EPS guidance for the year at $3.68 to $3.74 was the initial guide. They've raised it to $3.77 to $3.79, above estimates of $3.73, raising their 2025 sales guide from 56 to 56.5 billion to 56.5 billion to 56.7 billion. So they didn't do one of those raises where they just raised the lower end. They raised all of it, Neil. So this is actually, I don't like when they say, oh, we raised our guide and they only raised one part of it. I'm like, that doesn't count. They raised all of their guide here, and they did beat estimates with the low end on both sides. So good look here for CRWV. It's like slightly missed their guidance for Q4, but nothing super concerning. So they guided Q4 EPS here 96 to 98 cents versus 95 expected. That would be a beat, but their sales guide 14.5 to 14.7 bill versus estimates of 14.58 bill, basically rounds up to 6 bill. So kind of in line with estimates here for CSCO. I also have some more detail on CoreWeave earnings if people would like me to go over that. So yeah, revenue up 420% year over year. And if that's not Mimi, I don't know what is for CoreWeave. That is a 420% year over year revenue increase. So I was right here. I said that loss per share estimate seemed a little bit off. No, so it actually, we did really miss by that much on EPS for CoreWeave. So they reported losses of $1.49 per share, estimates of a 12-cent loss per share.
Well, I think a lot of times when you're at this stage,
that's fair.
Revenue matters more. Revenue growth is going to get scrutinized much more than EPS and profits because people just want to see if you can maintain that upward trajectory. So it's going to be about growth, and you worry about the profitability a little bit later on. It's their first report. Usually you're not worrying too much about it, but it's not the best sign in the world that you're going to miss by that much.
Yeah, the losses in general are pretty massive.
Yeah, like there are pretty big losses, and there's no question about that. It's trying to hold on. It just rejected 70 again. Like I'm telling you, it's trying to break out, and the wicks are nasty when it fails the $70 level, and then just slamming back into the downside. So every single time it tries to go is heavy rejection above the $70 level over there on CoreWeave. The funny thing about Cisco, as an old head, it's the only one of the four horsemen I have never at any point owned as an individual stock. I own the other ones. I don't own all of them anymore, but I still own two of them. But I've never owned Cisco, and I don't think I want to get back. Get into it at any point. Is what it is. CoreWeave still a bit of a battle. I just want to remind everybody, because I think it's a big point. It did a lot of work in the last few days running into this print. So like we were just a couple of days ago, and we're at $54 and breaking out. We're now breaking out above 65. You're holding the prior high here. So when you take a step back and zoom out, sure, you didn't zoom to $75, $80, but you're still on a very strong upward trajectory. And at the end of the day, you have the group in the space doing very well. Like if you just look at the SMH, and obviously CoreWeave, doesn't really matter to the indexes. We just came to market here, but the overall space is in the midst of a fantastic rally. SMH gapped, holding now the 50 period again. It's broken, V-shaped recovery, and on its way, what it seems like to the next resistance level. So I think when we're looking at some of the chip names in here and anything in the space, let's look to see what happens when we get to about 260 or so on SMH. That's going to be a bit of resistance. I do think it was a chop zone before, but it seems like clear sailing into there. And a lot of the price action told me When you had like half the chip names selling all morning, all day long, and SMH was able to hold up, Nvidia doing a lot of the heavy lifting there. I don't like an oh no there.
I said oh, I think maybe I said oh, but I don't know if I said oh no. Either way, basically, I don't know if it's going to be market related, but we know sometimes that these geopolitical events can move the market. So I'm going to tell you guys. Basically, I'm seeing here, apparently, Iran's president said to Trump, quote, "You came here to frighten us, ? We will not bow to any bully." So that's not great. That's not great. We're going to have to wait and find out here. Trump, for the record, did speak fairly positively about Iran today during the comments at the dinner. And I'm only mentioning this again because these things can be market moving, and I want to keep people informed. But either way, we're going to have to wait and see how that develops, I suppose. Lots of geopolitical tensions to keep an eye on just everywhere, quite frankly. And they can and sometimes do move this market if there's any kind of uncertainty, especially like that.
Well, it's absolutely truth. Like, you never know. Hopefully that's, you hope for the best, and no one ever wants conflict, especially in that area where it's been way too much historically. And I think everyone can agree with that. But I don't think right now the market's focused on USA, China, USA, Europe. I want to say USA, Canada, but probably not. That's pretty much it. We love the money that's pouring in from Saudi Arabia, from Qatar as well, but that's fantastic. I'm not even sure how much we care about CPI tomorrow morning. Do we? Sean, we care about CPI tomorrow morning? Sean just said no. I'm not sure we care that much about CPI tomorrow.
It's also PPI.
Is it PPI?
It is PPI.
CPI, PPI, whatever. You guys know what I mean. Does it matter? No, because as long as deals are coming in, and as long as seemingly the plan is coming to action, regardless of what you think about the overall economy, I get there's kinks in it. Right now, we're in a bull run, and you just want to be continuing to ride the wave. So I'm looking for places to ride that wave if we can. And as far as I'm concerned, you're going to start right back with the same places. Let's be real. We all hope that Tesla does not gap over $350 tonight. Why? Because how many times do you go right to 350? I believe, I'm pretty sure it actually ticked 350 both times. 99, 350. Clean double top at that level. So as a day trader, you want to be under that for tomorrow to set up a potential breakout. And if it fails, it fails. But that's one that I think is going to be had, and one of the reasons why Tesla still got room to run another 10, 15 bucks on the daily chart till you get to the February top. So the February high was the big one that led to the biggest prolonged down drop without any kind of a bounce. Didn't bounce till the 200 period moving average here. That was a pretty nasty drop into the 280. That's what made 280 a big level on Tesla. So we have a little bit left to go, and the 350 break to me is what can take you there. We hope we get there. DM Babeful says your target's 363. I don't disagree. Somewhere in there, I said 360 to 365. We're just all looking at the same chart and picking out the run to the next level. On the train home, I have two things to decide. Am I covering some Tesla at that price level from the 222 buy? And the other one, which was a suggestion from Sean, because I'm like, I'm going to trim some Netflix tomorrow. So I'm going to trim some Netflix tomorrow, or I might do it with a market on open order, more likely in the middle of the day. And I'm thinking maybe we just roll it back into some Disney. I don't necessarily love the level Disney's at, but sometimes you should be looking at a longer term chart. I say make decisions on weekly charts and monthly charts. On a weekly chart, Disney is about to close above the 50 period on the weekly. Knock on wood. To me, that's a big sign, good bottoming pattern. When you look at it here, like a breakout holding the 200 period moving average, I mean, Disney has a lot of room to run. The highs are 200 bucks. They got a pretty decent moat around them. I understand all the woke stuff, and I understand I haven't seen Andor just yet. They don't have a heck of a lot going on in the streaming. But hey, at the end of the day, the parks are amazing. The cruise lines, I have friends that have been on Disney cruises. They still swear by them to this day. There's more to this business, and it's a good value. So thank you for that, Sean. I don't know if I'll buy it until it actually closes above the 200, so it might be a next week thing. But I think we found some money where we can put that money. Fedora the Explorer says Andor is amazing. I can't wait to watch it. There's not that much that's great on Disney right now, so I really can't wait to watch that one. Let's get back to some of the earnings names. I know it's not a big name and no one cares too much about them anymore, but Cisco, it could be something here. We have a pretty decent breakout here on the daily with a little bit of room to run. So give it some due. that you've got a chance to get to the high because your last level of resistance just got taken out. And if we pop back over to like what's happening right now in Cisco on those earnings and the good guidance, strong guidance, Adara, from Cisco, it's holding the top end of the range well above that breakout level on the daily. But it was some kind of a guide.
Yeah, and if there's any other earnings that people want, just let me know. I'll give them to you guys. The other one that I had on my list came out here, Iris Energy, or IREN. I think do sometimes go by IREN as well. I had this on my list because it is a crypto name, and I have seen it rally in the past. They missed on sales, 141.2 million versus estimates of 159.37 million. Please let me know if anybody else has any other earnings they want me to look at, any other tickers they would like me to look at. We're definitely here for that. Razor?
Oh, it's Luminar.
Oh, LAZR.
Yeah, Luminar is moving here. And the reason I think people are going to be interested in Luminar is, and I know Sharif will tweet tomorrow if it holds this move, 20% short float, $5 stock, up 16%. And on top of that, hey, everyone seems to like picking a bottom. So this always gets people interested when you're trading, when a stock which is this beaten up starts breaking out. The last time it popped the 50-period moving average, you got a 25% move from there. So yeah, Luminar up 15% after the close. They were earnings name. I don't have the numbers.
I don't have the numbers at all. I don't have the numbers for a lot of these ones people are mentioning.
It's clearly moving, but we don't have the numbers out yet on Laser Luminar.
I do have Next Tracker, which some people asked about too. NXT. So Q4 EPS, that's actually a pretty solid report. They beat on EPS, 129 versus 98 cents expected. Sales, 924 million versus 828.84 million expected. Good look there for NXT. Guidance here is pretty mixed. EPS guide 365 to 403 per share versus estimates of 386. Sales is actually a beat here on guidance, 3.2 to 3.4 bill versus 3.18 bill expected for fiscal year. What other people are mentioning? Like I said, don't have LAC. DXC, I'm seeing some people mention. I'm gonna find as much as I can here. DXC, I do have, and yeah, DXC is okay. It doesn't look like it, but it is a double beat. Q4 adjusted earnings 84 cents per share versus estimates of 77 cents per share. Sales 3.17 billion versus 3.13 billion expected. And if I see anything here on LAZR, I will certainly, I'm not seeing anything on LAZR, guys, nor am I seeing any numbers on this LAC. Apparently, people are asking about Nvidia. PLRZ is another one that people are talking about here. Poly Ryzen, I'm not seeing
Remember,
anything.
everybody, Nvidia owns a boat in CoreWeave, right? So that's obviously, to Nvidia's printing cash, man. Their CoreWeave stake, it doesn't matter to Nvidia. But you just need excuses for it to go up, and any CoreWeave strength is an excuse for it to go up. I mean, if they do well, think about it. If CoreWeave does well and is growing, at least out their old chips, what does that tell you about demand overall in the AI space? For them in general. So yeah, nice little pump here in the aftermarket on Nvidia. It's now through the 135 cleanly, more cleanly. That we just tagged the 136. Have a good one, Sean. Make sure you get the right bat, brother. And the daily chart, if we all own Nvidia, everybody that's in the market either owns Nvidia directly or you're in that index that owns Nvidia something, right? So we're happy, and it puts a smile on your face when you see a stock like this on the breakout path. Now, I could draw a trend line like that and tell you how parabolic it's been, but if you draw the trend line from the high, the break literally was the hold of the 50-period moving average. And remember what we said time and time again. This was a name where if you took the death cross short, you actually won. No questions asked. You won. But when you break away from that zone, it tends to be a little bit explosive. It was explosive for Nvidia, even though it was a winner for the shorts that shorted the death cross. It's explosive right now on Tesla. There's your death cross. No break of the low. They report. Think about this. Tesla reports it's not great. The death cross had happened and it can't break the low. Oh my goodness. 220 holds again. That's why you can get a parabolic move, because there's shorts stuck in there. There's technical shorts. That's what they do. They're going to take that cross and they're going to get punked. And that's exactly what also happened in the SPY when it did a death cross. Like, your death cross in the SPY happened after it made the low. Now all those shorts are getting squoze through the highs. And that's what we like to see, because we like it when the stock market goes up. Everybody except for big Smile Burdette or Big Smile Burdett, one of our viewers, though, hey, but you can make money going in either direction. I'm just always a lot more happy when the market goes up. I will address the fact, I know we only have a few minutes to go here, there's a lot of red on the ETF board. We're making it seem like everything is honky-dory. But if you think about where the pullback is, you got gold down 2%. Okay, that makes sense. Bull market, gold still pulling back. Well, you have the healthcare down. Well, I'll give you one reason why healthcare is going to be down. I mean, we could talk about the entire group being downward trending, but then obviously everyone knows what's going on with UNH. Silver, see gold. Berkshire, see rotation back into growth and maybe out of some, defensive type names. Makes a ton of sense to me, right? Energy, you want to go over USO, fine. Running into some resistance. That said, whether you're looking at USO, whether you're looking at XLE, whether you're looking at oil prices in general, spot prices, we're at a pretty good spot here. We've been talking about a W pattern for a while on a lot of names because you've been seeing this show up a lot. You don't need to be a CMT to be able to spot this one. This one looks just like a W. Well, when you break that out, looks like a good long. That's what's happening right now in the energy space. But yeah, there were some things that were weak. Obviously, GDX is going to fall into that category with gold. The Russell, however, disappointing for the Russell. When we talked last time, I did the aftermarket show, we were talking with Michael Noss here, and one of the things we were looking for is at what point does the Russell join the party and start breaking out more in earnest, right? Like if you compare IWM here, trying to get through 209, 210 to what we're seeing, say, in the SPY, you can see why people would believe we got some room to rally in some of the small caps. Rates might have a thing to do with it. I think that's going to be a key factor for them. But that, to me, is the next shoe to drop. They join the party, and I think that's where you start to see the rally back into some of the highs that we're all waiting for here. But so far, so good, Adair.
Yeah, I'm just looking here. I'm still not seeing that LAZR.
Really?
Yeah, I'm still not seeing those yet. We're going to keep checking what is happening here. Apparently, CoreWeave holding, so good job there for CoreWeave. Yeah, we had that IPO earlier today, too. CRW, no, that was TORO. Yeah, no, sorry, I have UNH up because I saw a headline here about Medicare. I can show the CoreWeave chart, but I think we've already looked at it pretty heavily here.
Yeah, it's doing the same thing it was before. Just to come back to CoreWeave, well, you had it up as well, but it's now holding above 70, which I think does matter because a lot of the rejection on CoreWeave was above the 70. Look at the wicks, above the $70 level was instant rejection. So to be holding 70 is a big deal. It's part of why, like we said, its strength is part of why you're seeing Nvidia go up. And bigger picture, this is just a clean IPO breakout. Oh, that reminds me. I wanted to bring up Reddit because Reddit, set it and forget it. Reddit's bounce, I want to say disappointing up until today. They reported, they pulled back. The earnings high was right here at 126. The good news, we broke 126 today. The bad news, it wicked the top and came back in. However, not by much. Not by much. There was still some strength up there, and it closed around 125. I think this looks pretty solid for another rally, but it needs to get back above, I'd say at least 26, 27, maybe even break the 130, and then Reddit's got a huge runway to go. And the other side is, remember we talk about, I just mentioned what happens when you have a death cross, indication short. So down on earnings, death cross after earnings, doesn't even retest lows. As a matter of fact, if anything, this is even worse for the shorts, which makes me want to point it out even more. Even worse for the shorts, it holds the trend from the bottom after the death cross and down on earnings, and then it breaks out the top, giddy up. That's the kind of thing that gets a bullish move in there. I think it does need to break out 130, but Reddit's the kind of stock that could do that tomorrow. By next week, we're talking about 150. So I knew there was one name that we wanted to get to, that I wanted to get to before we got to the end here, so I'm glad I remembered that. I saw a lot of people have mentioned this all day long on its strength. I'm not sure we're done here yet with Reddit.
Yeah, I mean, it's so funny here. Mike Jones in the chat. Don't know if it's that Mike Jones, but the one and only Mike Jones. With this, saying something about Reddit here. Don't sleep on Reddit. Certainly don't. The daily chart of Reddit kind of reminds me too of the daily chart of the DXY. I've talked a lot about that kind of stutter step to the upside, or this uptrend on the DXY on the daily, and then we broke out today when we had some reports suggesting that the U.S. is basically trying to consider keeping the dollar high as part of its trade deals. They don't want that dollar to drop. So nice little breakout here for our friends at the DXY, and Reddit looking pretty similar. Only reason I brought that up. Here's Webull. Someone just asked about Webull. Webull today, oh my gosh, this 30, I'm blind.
Ooh, yuck.
1390 level. Look at that resistance, Neil. We get it once, we get it twice. But we get higher lows. So like, do we get a breakout out? No, it's Webull. I think we bear maybe from here if we can't get above that 1390 area. Because look at this, we get this 1390, we bounce. Like you see right here, we bounce. We quadunk, we rounded bottom, come to 1390. Oh, come again? Come one more time? No. So I don't think Webull wants to get above 14 as of right now. It looks kind of bearish to me, but I honestly I don't really look at the same, I don't really trade the same, so I'm not really sure how it moves.
Another note to some bearishness for Webull. Kind of makes sense, and I didn't make this connection earlier, but
Toro.
No, well, Toro coming to market, but more Robinhood taking out WonderFi. And Robinhood stepping into Canada and expanding. Robinhood is a bull, and maybe that makes Webull less bullish. Now, I still think when you go to market via SPAC, do the whole let's rally and then rinse people. If you do that, I tend to believe if it gets back to that magical SPAC $10 level, you want to look for longs off that level. And I still maintain that regardless of what I think. And candidly, I don't have skin in the game. Like I don't use Robinhood. I don't use Webull. I just believe in Robinhood as a company more than I do Webull. We'll get that out of there. I don't own either one of them. I actually own Coinbase, and I have some WonderFi shares from back in the day. But no, I think $10 level will matter to them. It could have something to do with Robinhood expanding. That's going to matter. I saw someone pop in for Alibaba. So Alibaba's reporting tomorrow morning. Obviously a big name, an important name. Taking out the highs, I don't know why, but it's taking out the highs right now. You're going to want to watch it overnight, see what it does in the overnight market. But it's the big name reporting tomorrow morning. I'm not super bullish to the point where I'm considering buying it in anywhere around these levels. I am looking to get back into the shares that I sold recently in the swing account. I sold 2/3 of it in a couple of legs, and I'm looking to buy back in to rebuild that position, but I'm not feeling these levels up here. And I just realized, Adara, it's already 4:30. So time flies when you're having fun. Big shout out to CoreWeave for boosting the market here. Well, for boosting everyone's spirits as it broke out the highs. Good IPO. Obviously took Nvidia with it. It was a fantastic day with a lot of strength. And it wouldn't be such a great day without everybody that we're going to give credit to in our roll call, which we're about to hit through right now. So if you want to be part of the roll call, everybody, make sure you hit the like and subscribe. Jump into the chat. It's a subscribers-only chat. Give a big shout-out to Fabian. Big shout-out to Andre, making us look and sound good. Ramin kicking butt on the socials. I love those Studio 8 videos. You're kicking you-know-what with them. Big shout-out to the midday, Sharif and Joey Options, always doing it. My man Sean at the desk with the late trade there, Q's and Nvidia. Adara in the red, keeping you in the news and keeping the markets green, everybody. Give a shout-out to her and give a shout-out to Bears versus Bulls. And our good friend Brendo behind the scenes. Best moderator, best manager in the business. That's what it's all about. So shout out to them, and let's get this roll call. Yeah,
this day is over. Everything must eventually come to an end, but let's savor the moment because time flies, don't it? The beauty in life, you got to make it last for the better because nothing lasts forever. Nas line just on my mind right now as we clean up. This felt like it moved so quickly today, Neil.
It really does.
Shout out to everybody here in the chat. Shout out to Neil, Sean, Sharif, Joe, we have Fabian, Ramin, Andre, Brendan, always, and Bears vs. Bulls, thank you for everything you do every single day. Thank you, Mike DeRider, Damian Tarza. I know KK was in the chat. Hey, Davis, Pop LaCork, Cajun Trading, Lazarus, He-Man, Marie, Jai Singh, Why Not, Christopher Jones, Sage Might, Mimi Lulu, Indecisive Candle, that's a great name, Butch Conception. We've got Nick Downs, Nephew with a capital P, Sebastian Tavares, Farm Trader, J. Jack, Marco Hernandez, Indecisive Candle, again, Mark Stevenson Johnson. We've got Works Until It Doesn't. I love that one. Jael Press, Eski, West, y'all. Your Huckleberry, Dumbo Things Films, Mike DeRider, LTD. Let's end here with Blip Blorpo. And thank you all for being here every single day. But guess what? No, there's a new day tomorrow.
Exactly. And why not end at Blip Blorpo? Why Not was the name right after
Oh,
that
that's a
so
great
I
one.
absolutely
That's
had to.
perfect.
It's been a fun one, and Daryl, like you said, it's going to be so much more fun tomorrow. We got Alibaba earnings, we got post CoreWeave to be able to trade tomorrow. Maybe we care about Cisco, maybe we don't. Tesla 350, and we got it all for you tomorrow morning, 8:30, bright and early. Everybody rest up. We'll see you in the morning. We're Trader TV Live, and go Leafs, go.
Go Jets.
Get them.
I pity the fool that doesn't hit the like and subscribe button.
Bye, guys.